Okay, and we are live. So we should also be streaming on Facebook as well, but there is a longer delay there. I think I finally got that working. So I don't know. We'll figure that out. But I think it all works. So
Yeah. It says you're
anyway,
streaming live.
um, it does. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Well,
just
I
got a
mean,
pop up saying you were streaming.
oh, cool, cool. So it should be there. It's fantastic. So yeah. Today we're talking about dungeon crawling. But first, so today we got with me here to my right is Jason, and then we've got Decado. Below him, we got Mike Saxton from Thunderstruck Workshop, who also just set up a YouTube channel. I put the link in the chat. So go there, subscribe. And next to him, we got Ken, Sage Wizard today. Ken, you don't have a YouTube yet, do you? Or did
Not
you?
yet.
Not
Think
yet.
about it.
You gonna start one and do some Chisel Heart videos?
DM related stuff, I think.
Yeah, DM related stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
cool. What's yeah, Hobbs? Andy, you just got to stay up late. Just push it, push through. You know.
Drive on.
No, thanks for stopping. Thanks for stopping. It's good to see you.
Uh-oh. We lost our host.
Oh boy.
And that's it tonight. Thank you for joining us.
Well,
Thanks for joining us.
wow.
Oh, Roger's
Oh
on
man,
the
I got
bottom.
the connection of death.
Jason, you got to run the rest of this one, I think.
And-
We're screwed.
And I lost the chat on the thing too. It doesn't show up for me anymore. But I don't know. Hopefully you guys can see the chat on stream.
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
What did you do to fix that last time? You turned
But I
something
can't.
off and back on.
yeah, I ended up going like this, I think, and did that. Oh yeah, see now it's coming.
I
see?
still have the chat. It never went away
Okay.
from me.
Well, mine disappeared, and now I just see burn right now. Buffering. Yeah, Dad, come back.
Hey, before,
There you
I'm
go.
back.
before we get into anything, I just wanted to show Jason something.
Yeah, absolutely, sure. Oh, look at that!
That's
That's
20
great.
millimeter. That's
Hang
HO
on.
scale.
Oh,
Look at
okay.
that.
How much?
What-
Hold it back up again.
Are you going to the pinball place this weekend?
I had not planned on it.
Well, I'll bring it and give it to Roger.
Awesome.
So
Appreciate it.
Nice.
Very
no
very
cost.
cool.
I wanted to test it out and see how it came out. So you take it and
Um,
make sure it's the right size and everything. And
Will do.
if you want more later, we'll talk about it.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't-
awesome. Thank you.
I don't have a link handy. The pinball place in Marcy, New York, they're doing a pop culture sale thing. They got some people that have a booth and all of that, and they got so there's going to be people selling stuff. All that Ravenswood's going to be there,
Okay.
and people selling magic cards, things like that. And
That's in
they're
Marcy,
planning on,
right?
yeah, it's one in Marcy. Yeah, they're planning on doing that every month. So.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, so that'll be cool. But I've got a table there for the convention. I'm just gonna lay out the convention flyers and banner and all of that. Mike's gonna put some stuff out for display, catch some people's eyes, and then we're gonna hang out and play pinball all day.
Yeah, I'm not selling anything. Just gonna
That's my plan.
try and promote. I don't imagine this is their first show, right?
Yeah,
I can't imagine there's going to be a high volume selling place for me there. But
yeah,
we'll promote the stuff along with the convention. And say we're going to be
Yeah.
there.
yeah. No, it'll be
Cool.
cool. I can't wait.
And I'm
But
sorry.
yeah,
You said this is Saturday. Is that correct?
Saturday. It's I believe noon to 6.
Yeah, that's
I think is
so.
what it is.
I have to look at my schedule right
so-
quick. I'm not sure.
So yeah, and it's normally it's $25 to play pinball all day. They're charging $5 to get in, I believe, to the sale, and then if you play pinball, you get $5 off. So,
Awesome.
can I get
Okay,
both
so it's
for
$25.
$25. So yeah,
Okay,
I'm
Cool.
planning on being there. You guys are welcome to come, so long as no one beats my score on the D&D machine.
Not a
That's my
problem.
only. It's my only
Hey,
requirement.
Hey, Burn RN717 is our good friend Pete Flag.
Oh, it's Pete.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice, Pete.
He was-
Welcome to the show.
He was one of my cheerleaders on the stream last night.
Is that a bid?
Oh, no,
Pete,
no,
for
I'm
the
sorry.
For the
That's your
for,
ransom, I
for the
think.
Western House, or
yeah,
or is that
I
what
think
you
that's
think?
the
you
suggested
should charge
retail
for?
price of,
Yeah,
of
that's
my
retail.
general
Yeah.
store there.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So yeah, so we're gonna get into talking about some dungeon crawling stuff. Before we get into that, though, I was surprised. I came home actually to a couple packages that I opened up. So first, we'll talk about gaming. We did our Shadow Dark game weekly campaign. We did that. I think the group is maybe 80%, 75, 80% of the way through the
Citadel.
Scarlet Citadel, the Scarlet.
Can we
Minotaur, yeah.
can we avoid any spoilers of the Citadel since I have group members in here that
Yeah.
are,
Yeah,
and they are not 80% through
That's-
it.
that's fine. Yeah, no, we don't have to talk about that. We almost had a couple character deaths, and by a couple character deaths, I mean I believe one character twice.
A couple of times.
Was that, and that I
Yeah.
think, Ken, that's because your constitution is what, -2, -3,
-3. So I have
-3.
4 hit points.
So
And
Yeah.
every time I go down, I have 1 round to survive.
yeah, it's been like super.
And exciting.
We've been very lucky, I think, at some of the roles. I think really that's like the closest that I think anybody's really come to dying.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Jesus, my group is like close to death about 5 times every night.
That's crazy. Yeah, and Ducato was saying that he's lost. I don't know how many characters. Probably like 10,
5.
12 by now. 5 total. 5 total characters now.
5 sessions, 5 deaths. We had one session where there was no deaths, but we had one session where there was 2 deaths, and there's been other than that.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
every session.
so Pete is our party wizard, and he fumbled 3 times in a row spellcasting.
Oof.
Wow.
Yeah, we
Oh,
looked it
wow.
up.
Like that?
Well, I forgot what it was. Something like a 1 in 165,000% chance or something.
Yeah.
Or 1 in
Yeah, wow.
165,000 chance. Yeah. And I roll 20s and they roll 1s, so it's been rough on them.
Pete, switch dice with the DM.
He
when you get
did.
there.
He did.
He did.
He was like, because they give me crap about my dice, and they're always like, "Oh, you got loaded dice."
Yeah.
I go, "Listen, I have offered to. You can use my dice all you want." I said, "If you want me to roll something different, give me something." So Pete gives me this gray die, and he's like, "I roll 1s with this all the time," and that's what he rolled all those 1s with. He hands it to me. I roll 20 on him. So then they realized it's just me. I
Yeah.
should be the one going buying lottery tickets, I guess.
Yeah. Generally with at least now, all of the like monster attacks and stuff, I've been generally rolling poorly. I mean, I think it's been more poor than really good hits. I mean, you guys can probably comment on that, but
You just need better dice.
no, I mean, I switch it up. I mean, I got like 20 D20s in my
Oh,
dice tray. I keep using it. I keep using different ones. I mean, so
Yeah,
It's
this is
just,
the first long-term game, if you can call it that we played that Roger just hasn't beat the snot out of us. Usually
Yeah.
it's very lopsided, but we've gotten pretty lucky so far.
Yeah.
See how it
Yeah.
goes.
yeah, it's been crazy. So, but yeah, other than that, that's been going. And we just did we figure that it was at session 4?
I think it's
Was that
session
the-
4. Yeah.
It was a 4th
Yeah,
session
sounds
we
right.
did. Yeah. So we're gonna do 6 sessions, and then we're gonna talk about it, have a discussion, see if we want to continue along with it. It's worked great for dungeon crawling and the carousing and things like that, but we'll see.
did you
See where it's gonna end up with other stuff.
did you read what I posted you about the carousing yesterday?
Yeah. So Mike tells me that, and I didn't look this up in the book, so I'm just going by your word,
Well-
so take it with a grain of salt. But
Take it as gospel.
he says, yeah, I know. He says that you can only carouse once per session.
Well, So that's the intention.
Ah, I see.
Carousing is a downtime activity. And when you go to downtime, the very first sentence says between adventures, you can choose to undertake one downtime activity. So I went and searched and looked it up, and then I found posts from Kelsey on her Discord and on other forums where she confirmed that it's not intended to be spammed like that. It's supposed to be once per adventure, which could be once. So if you guys are on session 4 and you're 80% through it, you should only have one time carousing in this entire dungeon. By the time you finish it is when you come out and
Right.
you got your spoils and you want to party it up and do whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you got to think of it this way. The tiers, how they go up. I mean, if you spend 1,200 to carouse, you can get up to plus 6 XP.
Sure.
But you could take 30 XP 40 times and get up to plus 4 XP,
Right.
or 30 gold
Right.
40 times and get up to plus 4 XP every one of those times.
Mhm.
It's really
Yeah.
going to break the game if you.
I think that I would probably say to do it once per session,
Okay.
not like once per dungeon.
Well,
I think that's a happy medium.
you run the possibility of far out leveling your dungeon before you even finish it. I mean, I had
Sure.
one player that made a new character. He had 3 XP when they went out to the town, and they caroused twice, and he leveled. I mean, he literally had only
Yeah.
been in the game and a couple combats, was there for a single piece of treasure. Actually, I don't even know if he was there for the treasure because they found it the first week, I think. So he might have come out with no XP. I don't know.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah.
We've been having a great time with it, so hopefully
Yeah.
we don't change it too much.
It's been fun.
I don't know if you've seen the carousing tables from Western Reaches. They're they're greatly expanded on it.
Oh, cool. Cool.
There's a lot more options because
Yeah. Good.
when you're rolling a D8 and you've got 4 players in your group,
Yeah.
you're going to see
Yeah.
every one of those options many
The
times.
Thieves
over.
Guild have taken large quantities of my treasure.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Over and over and over.
Yeah. No, that's interesting. So like when it's once per adventure, when you say like, I consider that like, that's a little vague. Like, cause an adventure could just be going and doing
Well,
part of
it's
a
not-
dungeon.
It's not vague. If you read the post I gave you from Kelsey, she stated
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
right
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be once per adventure. Like you run a whole.
Right. Right.
So your main extra treasure in the dungeon, this is just the bonus after the fact.
Yeah.
But if you carouse every session, you're probably getting more XP from carousing than you're getting from the dungeon.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah. But I think we've been doing it like multiple times per session, but so maybe we'll do it once per session and we'll see how it goes from there. You know?
What level are you guys up to?
3, I think. Is everybody
I
level?
hit 4. I hit 4 at the end of the night.
You hit
last
4th.
night.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm at 3.
Okay.
So, yeah, no, I hear what you're saying, Mike, and I just
I mean, you play it however it works at your table. I'm just
yeah.
I just wanted to confirm it in the rules because my guys were all like,
Yeah.
they were already wringing their hands together, going, "Oh yeah, let's, it's better if we do it, 30 gold at a pop and keep doing it over and over again." And I'm like, guys,
Yeah.
We'll be done with this
Yeah,
game if you're going to play that way.
We haven't. I think we may have done that like once, and then kind of came to that conclusion at the table that was kind of cheesy and not very
Yeah.
fun.
That's the
Since then
funny
it's
part.
like go out to the dungeon, get into some trouble, fill up until you can't carry anymore, come back and do one carousing of some kind, and then repeat that. So maybe we can call those our adventures.
That was part of the benefit of me placing the dungeon 3 days travel away. It's a hike. You're going to use
Yeah.
up rations.
Yeah.
You're going to have random
Sure.
encounters, so you don't want to go back every time you pick up 100 gold.
Right. Yeah. And I didn't do that. I placed it right near town, so, no,
I mean,
I get
if
it.
everybody's having fun, that's fine.
Yeah.
So,
No, it's been great. And like I said, we're like, the plan is to do 6 sessions and then talk about it and see what we're going to do going forward, you know. And so, and obviously talk about the rules changes. One of the rules changes is definitely going to be the torch timer. We've dropped down to what is that, blitz mode?
30
Is that
minutes.
the mode? Went to 30 minutes. 60 minutes is at least at the way that we've been playing, 60 minutes is too long for the torch. So
It's funny because my guys would bring up something about the rules that they weren't sure about or didn't like. So I'd open the book and pull it out, and they're like, "Oh, what are you doing? You're wasting our torch time." I'm like, "Hey, you're the one bringing it up. You know, if you don't like
Yeah.
it, shut up and play the game."
So we'll get into some dungeon crawling and stuff. I got some stuff. I know you guys got some stuff in the mail today too. This I got this week. This wasn't today, but this is for Moria. It's kind of like a dark medieval setting for Shadow Dark.
Cool.
And it's got some custom classes and stuff in here that are meant just for this thing. There's like a knight and a ranger and a druid. And so the cleric, you're supposed to use the cleric from Shadow Dark as like the cleric of the light. And then there's a warlock, I believe, that's in here, and that's the cleric for the dark. And then a druid is like a cleric of the for the old gods or the old ways, things like that. So that's kind of how they handle that kind of thing there. It's kind of just interesting to separate it by class instead of just having the a good aligned cleric and evil aligned cleric. It's just separate classes. So got that. I know some of you guys got the Pirate Borg stuff.
Mhm.
So strange. I had a box waiting for me, and all that was in it was character sheet pack, the GM screen, and the naval combat tokens.
That's funny.
No
I did
book.
not get that.
No book. So I went on BackerKit to see what was going on, and for some reason, I have 2 pledges on BackerKit, and so I think what happened is the main pledge that has like the starter set and the book and the playmat and all of that stuff is on one pledge. And then I went back and added these 3 things, but for some reason it put it as if it's like a completely separate pledge. So like when I search for my past surveys, like 2 come up, and then I click on one, and there's like a warning on top that says, on the top of the screen, that says, "Oh, you have multiple surveys completed for this." I have no idea how that's even possible, but yeah. So I got the one with the add-ons that I can't really use until I get the rest of it. But that's one thing that I got today. And some of you guys got the Jason, at least you got the core book, right? For
I
Down
did.
Amongst the Dead. Is that
Yeah.
all that you backed was just the book?
I'm checking right now.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool.
It's a pretty nice cover. I like it.
Yeah.
I have.
Yeah.
I just got off work. I have not had a chance to look at it yet, but it's Pirate Borg, so cool. Let me see what I backed here real quick. No, I did the $96. So
Okay.
I'm not
Well, that's
sure
interesting.
what I'm missing. Most of mine may have been for the VTTs that I'll never use.
Oh,
Let's see. I'm not sure what all I got, but the book arrived today. I don't know if I got anything else. I would like to think I did. I thought I backed the whole bag. I don't know, man. Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
check.
yeah. I'm not sure. I know they had a lot of add-ons and stuff going on with that, so I don't know.
But
how
I
that,
think it's funny that I got the book and nothing else, and you got everything else and not the book.
yeah, it's weird. It's weird. I don't know. I don't know if there's a delay with like the start, because I bought the starter set too.
Yeah.
So I don't know if there's a delay on that. I know that they had a delay on the non-book stuff, which is why like the Down Among the Dead, like that core book,
Mhm.
like they've been selling it, for
Yeah.
a while because they've been waiting for like the play mat and some of the other stuff. I think that goes in the stuff, the punch outs, and some of the stuff that goes in the starter box, I guess.
Hmm.
So yeah, they've been waiting for that. The other thing I got is this. I kind of forgot I backed this, but this is War Stories, and it's a World War II RPG. That's Firelock Games, and it's the Year Zero engine.
Oh, that's cool.
Interesting.
So I got that, and I've got the Operation Market Garden book and the Pacific expansion.
So is it historical RPG or is it historic fantasy? Like
No,
there's
this is historical. There
Okay,
is
cool.
there is some stuff that is there's another campaign book I think that's got some stuff that's not historical. Like they kind of did that with Operation BX, where they've got like
Mhm.
the World War II stuff, and then they've got like the Nazi occult stuff, and
Sure.
they
yeah,
go,
the Thule Society and all that.
they go hard into like that stuff. So there's like demons
Excuse
and
me.
all sorts
Okay.
of crazy stuff.
Cool.
But I think it's mostly just historical thing, which is pretty cool. So I'd like to check that out. Supposedly they changed the Year Zero engine a little bit to make it work for like mass combats and stuff like that. So that'd be really cool to get into. I got some of the dice too it came with. So
Those are cool.
typical kind of free league where you got the numbers and then the 1 and the 6. I think the 1 is the grenade, which means something bad happens, and then the reticle
Sniper.
there is the that's like the 6 or whatever. So that would be like the crit or the success, I think. So that's kind of neat. Yeah. So looking forward to getting that stuff to the table. And then I got and Mike probably I don't know if you got any within reach, but I backed Tom Tullis's Kickstarter a while ago for some 3D printed minis, and today they released these little torches that you put a battery in, and it's like a little flat disc that a miniature sits on, and it's got a little light up torch next to them.
I've got
So,
one across the table. You want to see it?
Yeah, I'd love to see it.
Well, then.
Did you got to get up and stuff if you don't mind?
It's right here across the table.
Thanks, Mike.
Forgot to move it.
So I messaged Mike about it this afternoon, like a few hours ago. I don't know, as soon as I got the email, and he had already had them print out already first thing this morning. And
Nice.
So these require. Oh, jeez, I got my piece. These require a little bit more to put together. You need some. I'm just going to hold the battery in it. You need
copper tape.
Copper tape. And the way they're designed, I thought I had some. I had heat tape, not copper tape. So I ordered some to be here tomorrow. So right now the battery won't stay in without me holding it in there. But that's how it works right there.
Yeah, and the mini
That's
just
cool.
sits on it.
Yeah, that's why I said I'm not gonna paint anything. I'm just gonna print them in black and then print the.
Yeah,
And if you notice, like me looking at it, that inside does look white. That's
Yeah.
why I said to use a yellow LED
Get the
instead
yellow
of
ones.
the bright white.
yeah,
So I've got yellows coming tomorrow. But,
Yeah. It looks cool,
so
Mike.
yeah,
So I've just been using just like a 3D printed yellow ring, that's 1 inch diameter that just fits around the mini, and that's been like the representatory, this is the person with the torch type
we just
of thing.
we
So,
just said who's carrying the torch. That's all.
yeah, yeah,
I mean,
yeah. It's nice to have a visual effect like
Yeah.
on the board, so they
Well, now that I have these, I'll use them. But yeah,
yeah. So I'm definitely gonna gonna print some of those up and make them. So I think that'll be really cool. To
I know Dwarven
Use the
Forge
table.
makes some, but they're pretty pricey.
Mm.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, I bet.
So I was just waiting for these to come out and figure out make my own. They'll be
Yeah.
going up on my store tomorrow. Once I have
Oh,
the parts to make them, I'm gonna take a few
Yeah.
pictures and get a listing up there. And
Nice. What will those run?
I don't know. I got to sit down and figure it out.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
it's
Okay.
it's the material. There's not much material in it, but you got to figure in the battery, the battery, the LEDs, and the just
Yeah.
it-
And you got some labor.
there's
you know, to
there's a bit
fiddliness.
more putting them together than there are with all the other ones because it's multiple parts. You got to bend the wires in all these weird directions so they
Mm.
kind of gives you like a little springy action, and the tape goes in there to get better contact and to hold the battery in better. So it'll be a little trial and error, but they won't be much. They'll probably be in the $8 range or something, similar to
Yeah,
all my
cool.
other LED stuff.
Cool. No, those are definitely cool. I can't wait to print some of those up. So yeah, that'll be fun. What you get anything else today, Mike, or this week? Any new books or
I've got the Crumbling Keep of Kashmir. I know Ducato
Cool.
has this.
Yeah.
Cool.
The nice thing about this is I don't know if you know the maps that are in here. The maps that are in here are actually from Dyson's Delve. It was an 11 level mini
Oh,
mega
okay.
dungeon, and I've run it twice. But he took the maps and repurposed them and rekeyed it all and put a new story on it. The Dyson's Delve didn't have a story, so I put them into my campaign world, and it was an old dwarven keep that was, had been destroyed. So, but this looks
Yeah.
pretty good. This looks pretty good,
Yeah,
yeah,
Tom
And
does
it's-
good stuff.
and it's made for Shadow Dark.
yeah,
Yeah.
nice.
So this will be nice to run because it starts at level 2. It's like levels 2 to 5 or something.
Okay. Wow, yeah, that's cool. That's cool. And it's 11 levels, so that's that should
But
take
they're-
a little bit.
They're small.
small? Okay.
You could. When we were playing it in AD&D, we figured it was probably we'd go through about one level every session. I mean,
Okay, still, I mean, if you go through 11
That-
sessions, yeah, okay, yeah, that's
that's a level.
yeah.
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 I mean, let's see, 4, 8, 12. Looks like there's 15 keyed areas here.
Yeah. So yeah, all right. Yeah, that's crazy. What you get anything else, or is that
That's all I got so far this week.
what just going around the circle here? Jason, what about you? What do you
I was looking forward to tonight for this part.
yeah.
I got my Down Among the Dead, which is great. Like I said, I haven't read it yet. It was Valentine's Day. My wife always goes over the top for Valentine's Day. It is
Yeah.
a holiday I could not care less about, but it's part of being married, whatever. So anyway, I'm trying to collect all the old green books that I had to get rid of when I got divorced a long time ago. She got me the Crusades book.
Wow.
Nice.
Very
nice.
happy about that.
Yeah.
Very happy about that.
Yeah, that's
I
cool.
love all the green books. All of them are good. And
Yeah.
she got me the Glory of Rome, which is my second favorite green book. So 2 left
Nice.
to complete the set. Looking forward to that. I still need the Celtics, which I know you have, and
Yeah.
the
That's the expensive
Age
one.
of Glory, I think it's called. Well, the Celts one is expensive, but it's not the most expensive. The most expensive is the Age of Glory,
Oh,
which
is
is the Greek setting. And because everybody loves the Greek setting, it is extremely hard to find. But let me see here. Is it this one? Check it out. The map is still attached in this
still
thing.
attached? Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, and,
That's
I've
awesome.
got all of my books have the map in them. That's one of my prerequisites to even buy it. But the Roman, the map was never even attached. So somebody bought that, put it on a shelf. I never even looked at it. So awesome. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Does my wife
Yeah.
have a sister? No, she's an only child.
What
I'll let you know if something pops up.
so that's it. That's it for you.
Yes, I've got a bunch of stuff en route. I keep getting, ship
Yeah.
today, and it always arrives Wednesdays when I get stuff. So next Tuesday I should have some more things. But the 2
Nice.
green books, absolutely beside myself. Super excited to see those on my shelf again.
Yeah, that's cool stuff. Stan, you're up. What do you got?
Yeah, I've actually had a good run of mail of late. So because of my recent infatuation with Fallout 3, I picked up the
Excellent.
Winter Atom campaign and I got the Settlers book.
Yeah, I have both of those.
Nice.
Yeah. Those are both really good.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
haven't had too much time to dive into them because I got into some other stuff, but I'll get into that one last. So I got these today. So this is 2 books from Raging Swan Press, which I'm using. I've shown this before, but I'm running this for my Shadow Dark game, the
Oh, yep.
Shadow Keep.
Yeah.
So that's set in their setting of the Duchy of Ashlar. So this is a book that kind of gives you like a 1-2 page spread on all the villages in the duchy, which is nice to have in one spot. So I got that today, and then I got this is also from them. This is full of, and this actually dovetails into what we're talking about tonight, but this is all dungeon backdrops. So pretty thick book, a couple hundred pages. What I didn't know about this book was almost all of these backdrops you could use them anywhere, but they're actually written for the Duchy of Ashlar. So like they all fit into that setting I'm using. So these are really neat. If you've never seen their backdrops are really cool. They give you like a basic framework for a dungeon, and then you get to fill out like the details. So that works pretty good. I've used them a little bit. And my favorite thing that I've gotten, actually that goes with it too, but I got my copy of this, Tales of Argosa, and I've been reading it quite a bit and like pretty much everything that I've seen so far.
Have you looked at your village book yet?
The village book, I have looked at it a little bit. Did you have a specific?
Yeah, you said there were villages. There are multiple villages in that book?
Yeah. So let me see. So yeah, so like they'll give you the entrance here. This is a village called Thornhill. And then you'll get it's just real quick write up, like overall, like what the population, what the government, all that stuff is like. You get a rumor table, villagers, what they look like, what they dress like, notable locations, general features, and then they give you a map of each one as well.
Awesome.
Cool.
Okay, cool.
And there's quite a few in here. I mean, it's let's see how many pages is this book. It's 66 pages.
Okay. Excellent.
Yeah,
Nice.
it's pretty cool.
That's
It's a neat setting. It's very much like I was on their Discord, and the thing I like about it, like the Shadow Keep, has been really fun to run for a couple reasons. One, it's an homage to Keep on the Borderlands and T1, the Village of Hamlet, and I think it does. Having played the Village of Hamlet, it does a really good job. Like it feels like that, and it's well written, so it's easy to follow. Like it's not. Sometimes you can get stuff that's kind of confusing, hard to track, like where's this, where's that. That isn't that way. I literally, for prep for this game, is I'm running it Thursday. So Thursday during the day, I'll sit and I'll just start reading sections of they're in the underseller right now, and I'll just read some of that. But it's so well done that like at the table, it's nothing to just look at it and be like, oh, okay, I really like it. And then the great thing, the strong thing about it too is there's a ton of stuff like that. They've written a ton of stuff for the Duchy of Ashlar like that. I think that was one of his first locations in his setting. So I mean, there's a village book. There's this whole friggin' dungeon book. There's tons of stuff for it. But I could drop the adventure Mike got into it, no problem. Like it's not so overwritten that you can't add and change your own, put your own things in it. So it's really good that way.
That's cool. Yeah.
Oh, and I got these two. These goes with the Tales of Argosa. It's a deck of cards, so you can do like random things with it, especially when you're doing overland travel and stuff, you can randomly generate stuff.
Yeah.
So I got
That
those
was-
cards.
That was and I think Chubby talked about this too. That was like one of the big failures of like the Curse of Strahd thing. Like when they expanded on, you know, the Ravenloft module, you had the cards, the tarot reading cards
Mhm.
that would tell you where the things are and whatnot, and where you fight Strahd and all that stuff. And all they did is they just expanded that to the different locations and stuff with the Taroka deck there, and they could have used it. They could have used it like through the whole book. Like now they're like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
you gotta buy this $10 or $15 deck of cards, like just to do this one gimmick, like reading thing, and they could have used it for random encounters, and like they could have done it for like anything that you like make a dice roll on, you know.
Yeah, like these
they-
are. I'm not an expert on these. There's a whole
Yeah.
thing on how to use them, but like they have like all these different symbols within symbols. Like there's different meanings within all the cards. They say generally when you draw them to draw two and then work off of that. So like, yeah, but they look pretty cool. Like here's a couple of cards.
Nice. Oh, cool. So they
And
got
like-
monsters
and all these-
art and stuff.
Yeah, and like they have words like this guy here. It says rival, clashing, respect, tense. They even have like a little circle that shows like direction of travel.
Oh,
like
cool.
you can generate. Oh, and the sun, the dark sun up there. That's to represent like a time of day.
Yeah, yeah.
So they have
That's neat.
dice too. I have some on order, but they haven't come in yet. They're just kind of like they have these different like almost Nordic like symbols on them that mean yes, no, and then
cool.
some other stuff, and then you can roll for random results during that because it has a solo play portion too. If you're into that, I know a lot of people. I don't.
Yeah.
'cause I have plenty of gaming, but if
Yeah,
you're
there's
into
definitely
that,
a lot
like
of people out
has
there.
that. Yeah, and I was messing with it actually today because part of the solo thing is like randomly generating adventures and dungeons. So I was just, and it's just a series of dice rolls. So I was messing around with that today, and I was like, oh well, that's cool. Like now I have this little brief outline of what an adventure is. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cool.
kind of neat. So that's what I got.
Yeah. Neat. Ken, what you got anything new this week?
I got a bunch of fun stuff. Not all of it is this week, but it'll be new to.
Or
this
yeah,
week.
sure.
Hardsuit Primal.
Oh,
I don't know if we
Hardsuit.
talked about this. So I think this is originally for index card.
Oh, that's
RPG.
yes. Okay, that's
Yeah.
the Daggerheart one.
This is the Daggerheart compatible one. I don't think I would recommend it if you're going to do Daggerheart stuff, just because mechanically the guy is a little bit off the mark with what you're supposed to be doing in that system.
Really? Okay.
But the setting is really cool.
Yeah.
I do want to run something in this setting. Artwork is a lot of fun. I got this for Easy D6 Grimwood City Urban Fantasy.
Yeah.
And this is only because I've been looking for an easy to run urban fantasy game that's not, White Wolf stuff. So again, cool setting. I'm not so sure about the system. I'd have to play some more easy
Yeah.
D6 stuff.
Yeah.
Um,
It seems maybe I hate to say it's too. I know it's easy D6, right? Like, but
Yeah.
like it is easy D6. So like I think it's great for like a pickup game or like a
Yeah.
one shot or
It's kind of the
maybe a
impression
short
I got.
campaign or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think that it's great for that stuff. Yeah.
I actually don't have the Easy D6 book yet, like a main how to
Oh,
run Easy
okay.
D6 book. And I thought that would be in here. That's not really in here. So
Yeah.
I got to
It's-
get that still.
It's weird. All their books, like they look like they have like the same aesthetic. So it's like hard to tell
Mhm.
which one's like the core,
Yeah.
You can find the one without the stuff on it. But no, I think he did a good job, on it. And yeah, I used to watch his crafting videos and stuff. That's DM Scotty. He started with
Cool.
doing
He's a
like
he's an
craft
OG
stuff
of crafting on
Yeah.
YouTube.
Yeah, he's like the first. He's like the first like D&D guy to like use scissors and a glue gun on YouTube. I think.
Yeah,
That's
I
where I
think so.
started. That's where I started before 3D printing.
Yeah. Yeah. Watching
Uh,
DM Scotty's stuff.
Kind of watching some of his stuff, but more on his forums.
Yeah, I'm.
We lose Roger again.
Yeah, we lost
Yep.
Roger
Roger
again.
quit on
Oh,
us.
there he is.
Yep.
Yeah, his forums had a lot of people on there that were crafting, and we used to share stuff left and right. That's where I got my my reproduction white box from. Somebody on there, a girl that I used to talk to,
Cool.
made them, and I told her I thought it was really cool, and she sent me one.
Yeah. Nice. That's cool. That's really cool. Yeah. So, yeah, Easy D6. Yeah. Edgelord says, thinks you could do a campaign. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. I don't
We
know
got
if
too
there's
many
too
games
much.
to run campaigns in.
Well,
Just
yeah,
put another
right.
one on my list, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just keep doing that. Hey, come on, Vince. I used to think you were a partially stand-up guy.
Into the
Ooh.
perilous void. I don't know
Perilous
if you're familiar
Void.
with that one.
Yeah, I've
We
heard
talked
of it.
about infinity of ships. This is like
Yes,
infinity of star systems with all kinds of fun tables and
that's cool.
yeah,
that's
just
pretty-
a lot of really creative stuff in there.
It's system agnostic, right? It's not. There's
Yeah,
no real
that's right.
stats or anything.
Yeah, I think I would throw it into Stars Without Number or
Yeah,
Traveler if you were running Traveler.
That's
Whatever
cool.
kind of space stuff you wanted to do, you can grab it out of there.
yeah,
And then I picked up Vast Grim, a couple
Yeah.
of supplements, and Cyborg.
yeah,
And those are all mostly research. You know, if you've seen a Borg, you've kind of seen all the Borgs.
yeah, yeah.
But I was interested to see what real lightweight space combat rules look like.
Yeah.
And I was running cyberpunk stuff in my fantasy game in a roundabout way, and
Mhm.
wanted a different system to model it after. And I started with Ashes Without Number as that game,
Mhm.
but it was a little overwhelming. It's just sort of the side mini game.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
I think I would run that one. So
Yeah. It's a basic, D20. Like all the Borg stuff. So
yeah, exactly.
yeah, it's good and easy, to do something like what you were doing as like a side
Yeah.
thing, because
Yeah,
then
yeah.
it's like not, oh, you dive into what is this new system? How do you play this? How do you do this? It's just a simple,
Yeah.
familiar thing.
I did
So,
Ashes
yeah.
Without, I'm sorry, Cities Without Number. And I sat down with folks who had not played it before, and we made characters, but part of it is like shopping for mods and shopping for weapons and shopping for vehicles and, what kind of features and what kind of foci
Yeah.
do you want. And
Yeah.
all of that is really cool for a campaign. It's
Right.
not really what I'm wanting for a one-shot or two-shot episode, right? So
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of the Borg stuff, as you know, it's just like, here's some tables you roll on, and and it's all like the pertinent stuff. Pirate Borg, you roll on a table to see what kind of hat you have,
Yeah.
and then like your weapon loadout.
right?
And so yeah, it's really great. I really enjoyed how that Ragnaborg character sheet was kind of laid out for doing
Yeah,
something
great.
like that. With she had them like laminated, and all the information and the flow, everything was like right there with the basic explanation. She just rolled a die and then hit just put a dot with like a dry erase in whatever column, for whatever items you got, or skills or whatever. That was really cool. So I'd like to see more of that. But yeah, cool stuff. So yeah, fun. What was that? That's the last of it.
That's it.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, a lot of good. So productive week here for everybody, it seems. And then I know that me, Stan, and Jason all backed the
Trudvang.
Trudvang,
Bang. Yep.
Dragonbane, Trudvang.
Did you back it, Mike?
No.
No,
It's a
No.
free league.
no. Free League. It's a Dragonbane. So Trudvang they made an RPG, and then they made a board game. Simon made a board game, so it was very expensive, but had a lot of cool minis. And then,
Yep.
so now they were going to make, so now it's a completely new game. It's got, I mean, it's Dragonbane, but it's not just a setting. It's got the rules and everything included.
Very
Yeah,
cool.
it's got some modifications to the rules as well. I think
Yeah.
there'll be a little bit of differences, but overall, it's Dragonbane.
So yeah, been waiting for that to drop for a
Yeah,
while now. So yeah, I got that, and so so we definitely back that. So
Yep.
definitely have to try that. Yeah, and Ken, you were there. You played Dragonbane with us for the one shot, right? I believe.
I don't think so.
You no?
I don't
Oh, I
think
thought
so.
you were there for that. Maybe not.
Wait, was that at your place, your weekly game?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that's where Joe was playing the idiotic Mallard that instead of being low key, just made sure that he did the exact opposite the entire time.
I would
In an
definitely
infiltration
remember Joe as a mallard.
Okay.
I don't think I would have forgot that. Yeah, I don't think I was there.
An angry mallard.
they're all angry.
Tried to pick a fight with everybody.
And
I
my
could
perpetually
see-
hungry Wolven just wanted to roast him for dinner.
I could see some idiot player at my table acting like Howard the Duck.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There's several famous ducks to choose from.
Yes. Several famous humanoid or anthropomorphic. Is that the
Yes.
right
Yeah.
term? Yeah.
Well, you won't have to worry about that in Trudvang because there will be no mallard. So
There's no mallards in Trudvang. I don't know what I haven't really dove into it. What are the choosable races or whatever?
there's
Are the
there's
Wolven
humans,
still in
there's
it?
dwarves. I don't think so.
Oh,
It's a totally different thing. My first character was the Wolfkin. I liked him. There's some
in the
different
Kickstarter,
dwarves.
yeah, they added the troll dwarf. That's that was
Yeah,
added because
troll-blooded
as a
dwarves. And
unlocked.
it's all part of the history of Trudvang, because Trudvang
Yeah.
was originally a free league or Dragonbane or Drakdamon or whatever it was called in Sweden setting, and then
Yeah, that's right.
Simon's had the license forever, so they've been doing stuff with it, and then up until but their stuff didn't really. There was that role playing game, but I guess that didn't do very well, and the miniature board game didn't do that well either, as far as like being a big. I know Crossroad
Yeah.
Games where I got all mine. They had a ton of it. Like they were like, "Yeah, you want some of this? We'll sell it to you."
Yeah. Well, this one I know the Kickstarter launched this morning, and they're
Kickstarter's doing
at
awesome.
they're at like 500,000
Yeah,
already.
it's kicking
$12.
ass.
So
They'll do a good job. I mean, Free League will do a good job with it. Like I'm
yeah,
super
because it's
excited
free
to
league.
get it.
There's definitely a lot of
Yeah.
people that'll jump on.
And
that.
there was I saw something when they were early announcing it, I saw people posting concerns that because it was a CMON license and they're
Mhm.
swirling the bowl. So but it's 100% Free League's project.
Yeah.
Like they have the license from CMON and they're doing it. So CMON's not doing it.
Yeah, Simon's not overseeing it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I asked that exact question because I saw the Facebook announcement and I was like, oh, wow, more Dragonbane. So I jumped in it and a whole bunch of people were like, oh, God knows Simon. And I was like, I don't even know who that is. Why do I need to avoid this? And so I got the full rundown on it. Totally not involved in this whatsoever. It's all free.
Yeah.
So
Yep. Back with confidence that it'll be good.
So yeah,
I can't wait.
Yeah.
So today we're going to talk about dungeon crawling. Dungeon crawling, is that what I put on the thing? Dungeon
I
crawling,
believe so.
dungeon delving.
I see C up there. So it is dungeon crawling.
Dungeon crawling. Well, yeah, it's all the same stuff. So I guess I don't really have like an outline today, so that's on me. But yeah, Edgelord Simon makes great minis, and
Yeah, they
their
do.
stuff is like, I don't know, super expensive because of it. I don't know. I almost wish that they would make have an option to buy the minis for the game or have cardboard standees, because there's some games I'd love to buy the minis and stuff for, and some games that I'd just be happy with, little chits and standees, I think, but yeah, so yeah, as far as as far as dungeon crawling goes, I wanted to touch on a lot of subjects here, but the first I think is time in the dungeon. Now I know there's games like Shadow Dark does. It's pretty much like a 1-to-1 time because it's live because the torch thing is going. And then I know that in old school stuff they use 10-minute 10-minute rounds, I guess, 10-minute turns, right? So you go and do so every time you explore a room, you tick 10 minutes off. What do you guys think? I mean, how do you guys feel about that? Like should it be in real time? Should it be 10-minute turns? Should it be just more abstract?
I'm good with all of those, depending on the game.
So, like with Shadow Dark is very simple. It's really just kind of based on, you're not really, you are clocking turns when it comes to initiative order, but you're not clocking turns when it comes to torches and all that management stuff. But it's weird because you still clock turns for random encounters. It's kind of a mix. I think it's a little too light. I mean, I'm sure some people love it. I think if I had to go between the two, I mean, if you open up OSE to the very front cover, they've got this dungeon and wilderness, and it's literally step by step on the whole thing, the whole sequence, 10-minute turn, wandering monsters, decide your actions, description, end of turn, and it goes through everything. Like, this is where I struggle with Shadow Dark. There's no real hard-coded rules on, hey, I want to listen at a door, or I want to open a door. Like if I'm a thief, it's very vague. Well, if there's no time limitation or danger involved, it's automatic, unless it's a harder lock or whatever else. It's pretty much just wide open. Like, hey, we didn't make a rule, and you figure it out in a lot of respects.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That's fine if you just want to play loose and whatever. But most people I know want at least some rules that dictate how it goes, because when you make a ruling, they want to know why,
Sure.
So it's easier when there's at least a base set of rules that dictates, hey, if you're going to go and search for a secret door, it's a 1 in 6 chance. They know it's a 1 in 6 chance.
Yeah.
They roll their die and they don't complain. Oh, I didn't get a 1. We started doing it in our 2E games the last time, was when somebody would search, I would roll it. They wouldn't see it. That way they didn't know that they rolled a 6 or whatever. They might have rolled a 1, but there's nothing there. They don't know.
Right.
It's but yeah, I like the rules a little better in this.
Yeah,
versus,
OSE,
versus no rules in Shadow Dark for it, for the most part, other than your torch timer and your random encounters every so many turns.
Yeah, I guess I never really, looked at Shadow Dark like that. I just, like, if somebody makes a listen check or something, I just tell them to make like a wisdom roll or, like that.
So that's fine. But like I said, if you have some players like mine, they're going to look in the book, where in the book it just says, well, unless there's this and this and this, anybody can do it and there's no real check involved. So they're going to be like, well, why am I making checks?
Yeah.
That's why I prefer to actually have a rule for it rather than the vagueness.
Sure. No, I could definitely, get behind some of that. I mean, I don't know. I it's been okay. It's weird, right? Like in our games, it's been fine. I think, like, with just just make an ability check for it, and that's it, and then move on. And I think that's kind of the way it's supposed to be. I get it though, like, and it's weird, because I just flipped through the book too, like that they don't call out, things like that, like the stuck door or listening or
right. Like
something that is interesting.
They actually address secret doors in there, and they're like, if the party's looking, they automatically find it.
Yeah,
well, it's not really a secret door. It's not very well hidden if it's just obvious.
I mean,
to anybody.
I would always allow that, even back in the day or whatever, where like if there's a secret door in the wall and somebody tells me that they're going over to this back wall and they're like feeling around the bricks and everything, like I'd say, oh, okay, you find a crack or you feel a draft or something.
Correct. And I do the same thing. Like, say you got that old stereotype, the torch on the wall, you twist the sconce and it unlocks the door. If they tell me they're going to go, I want to go check out the sconce. Does it move? Whatever. Oh yeah, it moves and you unlocked it.
Sure.
Um,
Yeah.
But with it being vague, it can just be like, I'm searching the room. You really have to, as the DM, do the heavy lifting and be like, okay, well, what are you doing? Because the players aren't, I don't know. I don't say
like
that
that.
about everybody.
That falls in line with like a lot of old school games though, where like the problem with 5e is everything resulted on with a skill check.
Yes,
Players would just be like, oh, I'm rolling this. But like when we switched from like 5e to CNC, it took a while to get out of that mode, which I'm very glad not to be in. But I'd be like, oh, I'm searching the room. Well, I'd be like, okay, where are you searching? Like, you need to be specific on where you're searching. Oh, I'm searching the left-hand wall. Okay, yeah, you search the left-hand wall, and yeah, you do find, there are checks, obviously, in CNC. The rogue can make checks, but there's a big thing about not rolling. I mean, if you read the stuff in CNC, they tell you, like, you shouldn't be making them roll for everything. They should be, if they give you a detailed reason, like we had that happen, like in the adventure I'm running, when they were headed down to the next level, there was a trap, and I described what the entrance looked like. There was a door laying on the ground, and there was some symbols on the walls and stuff, goblin writing. And the guy, my friend Matt, was playing the rogue. He's like, well, I'm going to check the entrance of the stairwell. I want to check that out. And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, when you do that, you notice that the door is at a slight angle. And he's like, oh, I pick it up. And I'm like, oh, well, there's a vial of fiery orange liquid under there. And if they'd stepped on it, it would have blown up and probably fucking cooked the entire party. But he didn't make any rolls. It was just like, he told me exactly what he was doing.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, you don't need to go for that if you find it. I kind of like that method. I personally, I think it was I think Edgelord or maybe it was Death Angel mentioned, like they like the vagueness. They used to like to roll for everything. And I got it, like I played a lot of 5th edition, and that was what the default was. People were just throwing dice. They weren't really doing. And with the older games where it's more about, no, you don't want to make you roll. Like you don't want that, because if you have to roll dice, probably something bad is going to happen. So like if you explain to me in detail, pretty decent detail, on what you're going to do, you'll probably be successful. If you don't, probably not. And it's probably going to be bad if there's something, there that could hurt, like a trap or whatever. So I can see it though, but it's like, again, it's whatever your table is more comfortable. Like Mike has guys that would be much more like harder and stickler for hard and fast rules in the book. And
thanks, Pete.
yeah, that happens. It's just a group. Whereas other groups would be like, no, I like to be, if I can explain it, this is how it happens. So I think that's where it came from. I mean, I don't know. I didn't design.
A big part of my group is guys that have played AD&D with me for 30 years. So they're used to those rules for searching for things and whatever.
Right.
And we still do the same thing. It's like, it's if you tell, but here's the thing. Like say they're going to go check a desk drawer and it's got a hidden backplate inside the drawer. I'm still going to make them roll it. They go and check for it. That's the point of that roll. It's not an automatic find because it's intended to be hidden. It's not intended for you to just open the drawer and see it. That's what would be the point of putting a hatch in there. They just put the item in the drawer if you want to do that. So
right, but the thing of it is too is like if if one of my guys says, I'm going to search that desk, I'm going, okay, what are you doing? Well, I pull the drawer out and I start moving it around. You're going to find that secret thing. Right. If you're just generic about it and like I just check the desk or worse, I just check the room. I still have a couple players that still kind of are very general about what they're going to do. And you really, like, for older games, everybody knows, that's played them. You need to be specific about what you're doing.
Yeah. In that case of I'm going to search the room, I don't even think you would give them that 1 in 6 chance, right? Just like,
no,
the room seems normal.
Yeah.
It's a room.
Yeah, okay, you search the room. It's a room.
Yeah.
There's a bed. The chair is here. Like,
Find a set of dirty underwear or something. That was about it.
Yeah.
But these are the same guys where in the past I've had to put a stop to the, like, I'm going to go over and search the bed. You don't find anything. Okay, well, what if I go search the bed? Yeah, you don't find anything. Oh, I'm going to go search the bed. Come on, let's think about this realistically. What is your party? They're all looking at you like, what, am I an asshole? I searched it, and you know, now you're going to follow behind me?
Nobody trusts anybody.
Right.
I was like, you guys got to stop that crap.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would happen a lot in when I was running 5e. Like someone would roll, a search, and then they'd roll like dog shit, and they knew they rolled like dog shit. So the next person would, oh well, I'm going to check.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm going to check.
I would get, but
Right.
beyond that, I would get I'm going to check, but this guy's going to give me guidance.
Right.
Somebody
Well,
just checked
so-
and didn't find anything. So now they're like, oh, two of us.
Wait,
I'm
we'll
gonna give
pray
him-
about it.
Right. It's like,
Pray about it. We'll pray about it.
Yeah.
Well, my whole thing on that, right, and I think what the ruling, again, it's a ruling, right? It's not a rule, right? But I think what really should happen in the case of those kind of skill checks for searching and stuff is once someone makes the roll, like that's it, unless the situation changes. Like somebody's going to search the bed and they just, okay, I'm going to search the bed. So they roll for it and they roll a 1. Well, that's the search for the bed. Nobody else can search the bed now. Now, yeah, okay. Now, maybe if like the wizard casts like, whatever spell to make somebody wiser or be able to find things or whatever, or, detect magic or whatever, something like that. Like then, okay, then maybe you do another roll or you automatically, give it to them or whatever. But I wouldn't allow like, more than like 2 people if, because I used to have that problem too, right? Skill dogpiling or whatever we used to call it in 3.5, where it's like you'd have one person on the table that would roll the die, like, oh, I'm gonna search this room, and they, before they even get the words out of their mouth, they're rolling a d20, and as soon as everybody on the table sees that it's a 4, you hear everyone else at the table, you hear their d20s
I'll
at the
search.
table,
I'll search.
and it's like, guys, come on, what are we doing?
I mitigate that by just keeping it class specific. If you're in a dungeon and you want to search, the only person that can search is a thief. It's not that everybody else can't do it. It's just this is what the thief does. It's like, in Shadow Dark, the only class that gets a bonus of damage is the fighter, because that's what the fighter does.
Yeah.
And if you're outside, the only person that's going to be able to search for ambushes is the ranger, because that's what he does. I'm sorry, wizard, you're looking at the spell book. You're not searching for traps in the room or searching the bed or whatever. So just the thief makes the roll. If he finds it, he finds it. If he doesn't, okay. If the professional couldn't do it, you can't do it. So that's how I get rid of that. But
see, I see it a little different because in any system I've ever been, I've never seen a thief have a skill that was specific to searching. They have skills for finding traps, for doing things like that. But when it came to just searching, there's rules in every system on how everybody can do it. And elves had a better chance, or maybe dwarves had a better chance if it was like a sliding door. There, it was open to everybody. Humans had that 1 in 6 chance. Elves had a 2 in 6 chance. And it was never class specific.
right. But it doesn't have to be. My whole thing is, just like everybody else has said, I want to stop that skill dogpiling. That it's, I searched the bed. Well, now I searched the bed. Now okay, good Lord. Okay, the mattress is over there. The frame's broken. The bed's been searched. So I just nix all that. This guy can do it. And if he fails it, you guys just don't have a chance.
See, I just don't allow it. They all know now. If they want to search, okay, each of you tell me, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Oh, I'm going to search the bed. I'm going to search the dress. Okay, we go through it all. If they don't find anything, if they turned around and said, well, I want to go search the bed now, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to roll that random encounter check, and it's going to be a 4 in 6 chance of a random encounter that's going to come barreling in
6
the
and
door.
6 chance.
What do you know?
Stop your dumb
Yeah.
shit, and you'll stop getting random
and
encounters.
so I think that's something with Shadow Dark, right? Like, because every time it goes around the table, right, I make a little mark, right? And when I got 3 marks, I roll a random encounter. And so like now I'm like more okay with it. Like, oh, everybody wants to search the bed, 4 times, like, great. What are you doing? Oh, you want to do this? Yeah. I'm sure roll the die. Sure. Yeah. Open your case, pull the die out, roll it, whatever. Yeah. I'm going to watch the sand trickle down and I'm going to put a hash mark here and I'm going to roll for a random encounter. Now, me and Shadow Dark, I can't roll a random encounter to save my life because I can only roll 4s, 5s, and 6s on D6s apparently. So
You were knocking us around Sunday though. Damn cloakers are taking everything out.
it's like, I don't know, but that's I mean that's that. So I mean I think it's different, right, in Shadow Dark because of that rule, with the timer and then the random encounters and everybody kind of gets an action as you go around. It's kind of designed to make the dungeon crawling kind of like go smoother, and force the players to like acting and doing things, moving the game forward.
Oh, that torch timer has done wonders for keeping my
Yeah.
group moving. Like
Yeah, it works
nothing
good.
else. The people that throw out that torch timer, it absolutely baffles me because it is.
Well,
I thought it was a
that's the
gimmick
whole
at first.
game. I mean, that's the whole.
Yeah,
That's her
it is.
contribution. I mean, I don't want to sound like I'm minimizing it, but I mean that's Kelsey's contribution to the OSR, to the RPG community, is the torch timer. That's the,
But you have a whole bunch of systems in Shadow Dark that are codependent
Yeah.
on each other. So you have the limited inventory space. You have everything taking up 1, 2, 3 slots in your inventory. So you really have to manage that. And then you have a torch timer set to 60 minutes or 30 minutes, whichever you decide to do. And if that goes out, they're at disadvantage. Everything's at advantage. You're rolling random encounter checks every round. It all works together. So as soon as you take one piece out of that system, I saw somebody say, well, I don't like the inventory. They don't get enough to carry. I don't like the torches take one slot. Well, great. You let them carry 10 torches and
right.
they're never
And
going to
why have a
worry
torch
about
timer
darkness.
at that point?
Mm-hmm.
Well, again,
Right.
if they're having fun, obviously keep having fun. But I think the argument
Sure.
here is you'll have more fun if you use the systems as
Yeah.
intended than not.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah. Like if everybody at the table, doesn't like the torch timer,
Play a
it
different
doesn't
game.
like the carrying capacity.
Right.
It doesn't. You're playing the wrong game.
Right.
Like, I mean, then go play OSE, right?
Yeah.
Which doesn't have a torch timer, and you're what's is carrying capacity? Is that gold weight? Is that what they're using? Or
Yeah,
or
but
did they?
OSC may not have a torch timer, but it still has your turn timer, and torches are on that.
Right, 10
So-
minutes, right?
So you do still basically have a torch timer. It's just not a real life torch timer. It's based
Yeah,
on
but-
turns.
Right, but that makes all the difference in the
Yeah.
world.
Yeah.
I mean, even though it might be the same, like
Yeah.
because a half hour in game, right, or an hour in game is 3 hours in the real world when you
Yeah.
don't have a torch timer.
Right.
Yeah, half hour in CNC can be like, oh, should we like split up here?
Yeah,
Should the guy? Well, maybe we'll put the wizard in the back. I think I want to run up. Actually, hang on. What if I pull out this thing and let me check my spell list?
Yeah, that's what stopped my players from doing that was the torch
Yeah.
timer.
Yeah.
and Ken, I was talking to you mentioned this to Jason earlier, off stream or before the stream. I think to Stan and Jason that like it's amazing like how much of that is just like now as soon as anybody like starts to hum or haw, say, maybe we should do this. Like somebody's usually like, guys, we gotta go. The torch is like let's
Yeah.
get going. Like,
Enough talking. Should have thought about this before we came in here.
yeah, like go.
Yeah.
And it's funny, like just that, and like it's like, oh, no big deal. Like, okay, we have 5 or 6 torches or whatever in the group, right? Or whatever. So it really shouldn't matter, but it does because that like, like the sand timer, it's everybody's staring at it and like going. And like Joe has been like Joe is eyeballing that thing, and he's like, I light a torch because he knows it's about to run out.
Yeah.
But
You know?
even the timer, just having the torches, like you one of the things you said after I think game 2 was I need to work on attacking the light more. And this Sunday we got attacked by cloakers. I think there were 3 cloakers attached. We had 2 sources of light going on. we had 3 cloakers attack. 2 of those cloakers landed on the light source, and we lost
Yeah.
a light earlier. So I was like, man, I'm looking at my character sheet. I have 1 torch, and if I have to light my 1 torch, I am leaving the dungeon. And so
Mhm.
I really like the torch timer, but it's not even the 30, because we were using Blitz, which I love. I think that is the way to go. But it's not even the timer that I worry about. It's just having a light source. We've been playing,
Yeah.
I've been playing with Roger for 7 years now. And this
Wow.
is the first time that we've actually had to worry about having light. Usually when we were playing CNC, as soon as my cleric hit 5th level, I cast continual light on everything. And I mean, we had a cloth
Yeah.
bag with continual light. It's on my shield. It's on his weapon. It's on his shoes. Everybody's
my
got
guys do,
continual
too.
light. And
My
but now
my guys used to collect a bunch of little stones in a pouch, and they'd cast
There you
continual
go.
light on it, and throw them
Chuck
in
him
that
down the
pouch.
hallway.
Yeah, and they'd be
Yep.
chucking them in rooms, and it drove
Exactly.
me nuts.
Yeah.
and that is not an option now. A torch is 1 slot. My dude, I got lucky and I have a 12 strength, so I can carry 12 items. I still only have 1 torch on me. Nabil, I think, has 4 torches on him. But all it takes, as a matter of fact, 2 weeks ago when we were playing, Nabil he's carrying a bunch of torches, and we're going through the Citadel of the Scarlet Minotaur, and he
No
walked into
spoilers,
a
please.
certain area.
No
no,
spoilers.
no.
no.
Okay.
But he
Yeah, okay.
walked into a certain area, and everything he had caught on fire. So there's 4 torches gone, and I was like, "Oh my god, dude, we've got like 2 torches left."
I think
it's a great system.
I think Pete left. I think he was my only player that was in here.
Hmm.
I shared it with my group, but I think he's the only one that showed up. So
They've
we're probably safe.
okay.
I can't see the list of who's here.
Yeah, no, me either. But he said he was leaving, so
Yeah.
yeah, they've made it halfway through that room. That's as far as they've got.
And we're
Like-
not going to get any further.
We left off Sunday night with them in the room with the pool of water.
Mm.
Yeah.
And
We left. I know the room you're
Oh,
talking about. We left
they-
that room alone.
They have no idea. They have no idea. They were like, "Nope, fuck this."
Yep. That's what my group was like, except for Pete. And Pete said, "Screw it, I'm going in." The wizard dove in the water, and we left off in that room. So
We didn't. They walked in the room. They saw the water. They saw like the dancing shadows or
Yeah.
whatever thing, and they like. I was like, "What do you guys want to do?" And
Oh.
Nabil walked to the middle of the room, and they saw that the water was all like bloody and brownish red colored thing, and they were like, "Yep, nope, we're done."
So
Yeah.
so
Ow.
those shadows dancing around the edge of the light scared them so bad that they lit a second torch and cast light on the shield.
Oh my god!
So they have 3 light sources because they're like, I'm not going to be sitting in the dark.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome. That's
They're like,
awesome.
are they coming at it? I go, nope. They're staying right at the edge of the light. You could see them. They're like, is it just shadows? I go, well, it's like humanoid looking shadows flitting around at the edge of the darkness.
Yeah.
And they were like, yep, let's light some more torches.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
we
I
left.
don't know if my guys are going back in there. We'll see. We'll
I
see.
like that kind of stuff when it truly scares the players.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, it's interesting. There's a couple areas that they're just like, yep, I don't think nope.
I
You
tell you,
know.
if we had any character information, like our characters were like, I think I see a glowing sword in that pool, or I think, but there just was no reason to be there.
Right.
It's like, this is a dead end with creepy water and creepy shadows. I'm not going to get XP out of this. Why are you even thinking about going over there?
Yeah.
Well,
Get
so-
out.
I am certain that there is something inside that water because I'm assuming it's Kelsey, but whoever has written that dungeon has done a really good job about making you work for the loot you find. And so knowing that room is dangerous, or at least going off the assumption that room is dangerous, I am sure that there is something in the bottom of that pool that's worth getting, but I don't know if it's worth half the party dying to get whatever is in there.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Did you
It's
guys end
interesting.
up finishing the room with the pillars? Or did
No,
you
No.
that's what I was talking
Halfway.
about when he burst into
Yeah.
flames. The first time we tried it, Nabil, the fighter, was like, I stepped forward, and my thief was like, cool, I'm going to stay back. And you know,
Well,
and that first,
he was like, he moved his figure like all the way to the altar. And I was like, whoa, buddy, whoa.
That's what I had to do.
He's like,
And-
I'm going to the altar to check it out. And I'm like, whoa.
And as soon as we walked
You
in,
get
I
to
was
hear.
like, okay, this because I'm playing the thief, and I was like, okay, this room is obviously trapped. And so, you know, what do you know? And Roger actually asked me, so you know, what do you think? And I was like, okay, well, there's these pillars all good. That's got to be part of the trap. So I'm searching around, and all he told me was they were definitely some kind of trap, and they were linked. The two pillars are linked, and I was like, okay, cool. We should not be in this room, is what, because my guy's got an 8 intelligence. So I'm like, we just need to leave. Nabil's like, no. And he went all the way forward. And Roger's like, whoa, back up. So he put him, you know, the first two are the fire pillars. And so as soon as he walked in, his clothes catch on fire, the torches catch on fire, everything caught on fire. And I was like, I told you we should have left. And then this week we go in, and the wizard's got a plan.
I was like, when I saw that, I was like, oh, I'm about to get a level 2 spell. Do I have anything that goes through rocks? Do I have anything? I found Misty Step. I was like, okay, cool. The wizard has this genius idea. It probably isn't going to work, but the wizard thinks it's going to work. And so I got Misty Step. We went back. And so I got to experience 2 of them at the same time and then get back out of there.
He burst into flames, and then he started choking on seawater.
So
And that was the first time that Ken almost died.
my party wizard, when he rolled his first talent, rolled the talent about a random magic item. So we rolled it, and it happened to be a potion, and it was a potion with a purple swirling mist that would make him turn. He would turn into a mist for 3 rounds.
Like
think it
gaseous
was.
form type
Yeah,
of thing.
gaseous form. So they decided, hey, I'm going to drink this, and I'm going to go all the way down to the end, because they couldn't see the end. They couldn't see the altar or anything. So he did it, and he went down there, and then he decided, I'm going to stay here and let it wear off. And then when he did it, as soon as it wore off, all 4 of the pillar traps hit him. But he had stripped naked before he went, so he had nothing flammable. So I didn't do the flaming one. So he took off running as fast as he could, and he made it past the last pillar with 1 round. Like, you know, he was steps away from dying. He made it back, but you know, it was pretty lucky.
Yeah. They don't know what the second 2 pillars do. They have some
never
theories,
going to
but
know. We're never
We're
going
going to find out. We got some guys with beefy hit points. They're just going to tank it. We're good to go.
Your wizard cannot die. If your wizard dies, my thief has to leave the party. So
Well,
you can't be dying.
you guys should be
gonna
okay
die.
since Rogers let you level up to 7 already.
yeah.
Just
Yeah.
go back and
Your-
carouse. Just go back and
giving-
carouse 4 more times.
If given your interpretation of those rules, how are your guys going to get from level 2 to level 5 in your 3-level dungeon?
So this dungeon is only intended to get you to level 3.
Oh, okay.
You're supposed to be between 2 and 3 when you complete this dungeon. You guys are already 3 and 4.
No, the one you were talking about earlier. You said it's for levels 2 through 5.
2 through
Yeah.
5. Yeah. The 11
So that's
level one.
90
It's-
XP.
I mean, it's also, this book is also 143 pages.
Is there that much treasure in it?
I'm sure there probably
I guess
is.
I'm curious how the math works. Maybe you can report back to us on how close.
Yeah, so like, are you going to run all of your guys? You're going to have them wait until they get to through that entire dungeon before they can carouse once.
They've already
they're gonna-
caroused. They caroused twice last week and leveled the guy that with no experience hit level 2. That's
Yeah.
why I was, as soon as they did that, I'm like, this isn't right, guys. And they're like, oh no, you're just trying to keep us down.
Wow.
And I'm like, I said, I don't understand why. And I think it's because I've DM'd for 30 years and they haven't. They do not ever look at that side of it. And I try to explain to them, I go, you know,
Yeah.
in any one of these games, if something's too good to be true, there's always going to be a downside to it, you know, and they don't see that. I'm like, this isn't just
Yeah,
freely
but what's
handing
the
out.
thing? Are you really going to let them go through all 11 levels before they can carouse once?
Probably not. I don't know. I guess that'll come down to how fast that adventure goes. I haven't read it yet either. I don't know if
Yeah.
he actually puts in.
Oh,
There
like
might be
this is a
parts in the
good-
dungeon, like after a certain point, this would be a good point for the players to go carouse
Yeah.
or whatever.
So that's
That'd
why
be
I'm
cool.
thinking maybe
Yeah.
once per session, like once per game session, carouse. I mean, you could still go back to town. You could still rest and heal up. I mean, right? I mean, I don't know. I mean, we'll discuss that. I mean, I'm not just going to make a rule on it without,
Yeah.
Yeah.
without discussing it with the group. But
I'm not
but
entirely.
that's what I'm thinking. Like, I wouldn't do it like one adventure. Like, I couldn't imagine these guys. Like, I know what you're saying. Okay, they're level 3 and 4, but I mean, they're pretty much done with it.
The funny part about it is if you look at the carousing, especially if you go into the advanced carousing stuff with Western Reaches, there's a good benefit to it without the experience. I mean,
Yeah.
they can
Yeah,
they can
Yeah.
learn new spells. They can there's all kinds of stuff that they can do with it. So I could see even taking the carousing rules and using them in a different system and just
Yep.
there's no experience involved, but it's plot hooks and everything else. You come back, you spend some
Yeah.
treasure, you go in there, you meet new contacts, maybe you piss somebody off, maybe you got some big reward out of it.
It's been like just for the role playing, like the wizard that just showed up, or the cleric that just showed up,
Yeah.
like he got put in the stocks outside and he rolled for
So-
for one D4
The
days.
town
So
on
he
fire or
rolled
something.
a 4. So he's there for 4 days. So the party is basically like they're having their meeting as to what they're gonna do in the dungeon next.
In front of the
Like,
stocks.
out in town square, and in front of the stocks, Jason's thief is like throwing tomatoes at the guy, and I mean, this is where they're
18 decks
discussing
I'd
what
never
they're gonna
miss.
do.
well,
Hilarious.
I could handle that, but what happened with mine was when they went carousing the first time, 2 of them rolled that result and ended up in the stocks, and the other 2 players were like, "Oh, well, they're in the stocks for 3 days. Let's go carouse again while they're in there." And the 2 players are like, "Really? You're going to go and spend money and do this while we're sitting here in stocks?" And they're like, "Yeah." So they went and did that.
Yeah.
Wow.
They leveled, and I'm like, "Okay."
Wow.
And one of the guys,
I could. Yeah, that sounds a little broken.
yeah, one guy
Yeah.
looked at me and he goes, "Are you going to let them do
No.
that?" I go, "I'm not going to stop them." I go, "That's up to you. You guys are the party. You guys work these problems out between yourselves."
Yeah, I don't necessarily think that's a rule issue. That's a player issue.
It is a player.
Yeah.
It is a player issue, but the players exploited the rules.
Right.
Because even,
You can do that in any game, though. Like, it's
Right,
not. I don't
I-
think it's a game issue. I think it's the type of players that are doing it. Like,
I
haven't
agree.
had that issue in my game.
It was just the reason the conversation came up was after Roger's first session. I asked him about carousing, and he had told me, "Oh, they're methodical. They go in, they get some treasure, they come back out, they go and carouse. They go back in, they get some treasure, they come back out, they carouse." And after it happened in my party that way, when I looked up the rules, that's why I sent Roger a message and the links from Kelsey. I'm like, this is not how it's intended to be. She even says if you allow them to do that, it's broken. You're misusing the system by allowing them to do it because you're just getting extra experience and leveling faster than you should be. And again, if that's fine with the group, that's fine in your game. I'm a big proponent of you run your game however you want.
Sure.
I just like to know what the rules state before I start changing them.
I was like, the game I was a player in, we didn't carouse every session, but like any session where we could go back to town at the end of it, we would carouse. And it made sense because it wasn't like we were just running a dungeon. Like, it was a longer. So like over the course, I don't know how many sessions we played. It was quite a few. Like at the end of it, like my guy was like 8th level, so, but I think with the style of game we were playing that it made sense because like if we just waited till the end of this adventure, we were doing the Norse style Cursed Scroll.
Yeah.
We were playing that.
The
So
Viking
there was a
one.
lot of stuff. Yeah, the Viking one, which
Yeah.
was really cool, by the way. Yeah, we would do. I don't think we did it. I mean, almost every session, I'll say we probably did do carousing, but there was definitely sessions where we weren't back in town, so we couldn't, like it just didn't happen. And that's kind of how I've been doing it with my guys. I think they've only caroused. I mean, some of the characters, it's because they've died so many times. Like they may we had one, my friend Matt, his character leveled up to second level, and then the very next encounter when they headed back to the dungeon was a random encounter, and he got killed in that. So like it didn't really matter. Like he died.
Yeah.
And,
I think
so. I
that-
got one character that's third level, and the rest are second level.
I think that too, for like what you were saying earlier, Mike, like my dungeon's a half a day away from town. And so I
Same.
think like
Mine's not
once
that far.
that's done, like, and we start doing like wilderness stuff and it's 4 or 5 days away, like now it's like a big deal to come back
Yeah.
to town. And there's going to be several random encounter rolls and like so they're not going to do that multiple times a session.
Right.
So I think some of that's on me, like on as far as that goes. So I think that'll work itself out.
I think one of the other parts about it that really struck me is, like Death Angel just said, it's how you dump your gold basically, and that's true. That is true. But I think the intention is you do the dungeon, you get a big sum of gold, because the more gold you put into it, the better the result can be.
Mhm.
But it doesn't scale proportionally. Like, so
Right.
1200 might give you 6 XP max, where 100 still gets you 4 XP max. So you could sit there and turn around and say, listen, we're going to, if our dungeon's half a day away, we're going to come back every 2 days here and carouse. And instead of dumping 1200, we're going to dump 300 and do it 4 times. And your numbers are going to be way higher, more experience than you would if you had dumped, you're not going to get the top tier and the benefit, the benefit portion, but you're going to get way more XP at the lower tier, repeating it over and over. So I don't know. It's
just from experience, it's been great. And even at my super high level of 3, I'm still dying. So we haven't broken anything and we're having a great time. So I don't see the downside. Maybe in a long-term campaign thing, I could see that. But
and that's where Decado and I have been talking about whether or not the system is really designed for long-term campaigning. It's great for dungeons. It's great for dungeon delving. You want to do a one shot, or you want to do 6 sessions in a row, and you want to pump through a dungeon, then by all means let them carouse and do it and get the levels and whatnot. But if you want to do a long campaign, you're not going to have a long campaign if they do that all the time. It's going to blow through it fast.
What if we did a campaign that was just an entire super large dungeon crawl?
Yeah, it depends on what the max level of the dungeon is.
So, I'll tell you something. We were talking. I asked you if you wanted me to pull out some stuff, and I've got books and boxes and all kinds of stuff over here.
I mean, I'm thinking about Barrow Maze or Dwaro Deep or something like that, like where you
could not run this long term in Shark. I don't think you would blow through it way too fast. Even if you take the
level
treasure,
out.
you drop it down to 1/10 of the treasure, you're still going to level out from carousing and everything else. It's just not going to work. Though you play this in first edition or second edition, it was designed for first. So you just run this in AD&D, and you could run this campaign for 2 years straight and never finish the dungeon. But that's one of the things. I mean, I'm used to playing games where it took 3-4 sessions maybe to hit second level. We'd play every week for a year, and you might hit 5th. Why not run it in CNC? I have a whole ton of CNC. I used it for years. I got nothing really great to say about CNC. It's a freaking hot mess. The editing issues, the omission from rules, the 3rd edition spells that were copied and pasted, but they left out entire paragraphs that were crucial to the spell description. I'm sorry, it's a 20-year-old system that they've never updated. I understand they don't want to do another edition, but they don't even fix the problems in it. And they keep reprinting it, and now they're doing the Nano GL stuff. So they've got new problems with it.
New printing,
So,
coming
I-
out too. They just dropped the Game Masters Castle
Yeah.
Keepers Guide.
I
think.
like
You
I
can
like
that.
I like Steve and Chuck. You know, I hung out with
They're
Chuck.
great.
You know,
They're
I
awesome.
hung out with
yeah.
Chuck the first night of Page, sitting around drinking and everything. We've talked about it. I've told them what the problems are. They know it. You know.
Yeah.
Last
No,
night,
I've had the same conversations with those guys.
last night they were doing a live stream playing a game. It was all the Troll Lords, and George Hardy sent me a message and goes, Chuck asked in the stream, why is Chuck wanted to know how everybody was getting a 7 on their initiative when you only roll a d6 for initiative. And they were like,
What?
because you don't roll a d6 for initiative.
Wow.
These guys don't know their own rules.
Yeah.
I've asked Steve a million times about spells and how they're supposed to work, and he laughs about it. Oh, I don't know.
Well, he
I
says
just
he doesn't
make it
know.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what he does. Yeah.
Yeah, a
Yeah.
new cover is coming out again.
Yeah.
So it's a way for them to get you to spend more money yet again.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like the guys, but I'm done buying their stuff.
I hear you. I hear you. 100%. I don't think the system's, terrible. I mean, I would run it again, but
My second edition Player's Handbook, DM's Guide, and Monster Manual sat on my desk when we played CNC, because every time there was something in there that was omitted in CNC, we'd have to look into those books to get a roll. So
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I liked it for quite a while until we just stopped liking it. It just the issues just got too annoying after a while.
Yeah. No, I hear you. I hear you. No, we had
Yeah.
similar issues.
And remember, Roger,
Um,
we talked about their bookbinding.
Yeah.
So when the new covers
Yep.
came out, the very first
Yep.
new covers came out, I got the first batch of them.
Yeah.
Can you see this up
Yeah,
there?
I can see that.
Can
Yeah,
you
I
see it
can
hanging
that.
on the bottom?
Yep.
The whole
Yep.
inside is ripping. I asked
Yeah.
them why this was happening, and you know what the answer was? Because they took their old books, they took the covers off them and put the new covers on the old books, so
Oh.
they had stock to sell. And they screwed them all up. And after I sent them pictures and showed it to them, they laughed about it and said, "Oh, whatever." So
We're shuffling.
I didn't buy another one.
Trying to get you back up to the top, Roger.
Glad to have you
I'm
back.
never
Ken.
leaving.
So yeah, no, it's interesting, right? And so, what do you think from a dungeon crawling perspective, though, for CNC, since we're on that? What do you think?
There's not really any rules in there to
Yeah.
facilitate dungeon crawling.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a basic kind of, I mean, it's sort of like a 1E, 3E hybrid
Yeah.
1E does have
I know.
rules to it.
kind of thing.
CNC
No.
says-
I'm not saying that it's right. No, I get that.
Yeah.
No. What I'm saying is it's
The
they
class
basically rebuilt 3E and they used
The
all
class
stats
design-
and stuff from
class
1E.
design is very much like 1E. Everything
Yeah.
else is based off of 3E.
Yeah, right. But I mean, we ran it for a while and used it at the table, and it wasn't.
It's not bad. We had fun playing it.
yeah,
It just
yeah.
the issues with it finally just got to the point where we'd had enough. And if I'm going to sit here and reference second edition every game we're playing, why am I?
Yeah,
not
no, you
just
might as well
playing-
play second edition at that point. Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
That's
absolutely.
true.
I love second
Yeah.
edition. Yep.
Yeah.
so do I.
Yeah. So, how do you guys feel about? So we talked about turns and time in the dungeon. I know there's a couple old school games. I know Dragon Slayer does this. I think they did this in first edition, where they have you have 10-minute turns, but every hour you've got to rest for 10 minutes. So you have to
First
take a
edition did
turn
that.
to a rest. Yeah, first edition did that. And I think in Dragon Slayer does
I
that
think OSE does that too.
as well. OSE might. Yeah, I'm not sure. What do you guys think about that? Taking a 10-minute like mandatory break every hour in dungeon crawling.
6 of 1.
I don't recall my fighter signing up for any kind of union rules when I started dungeon delving. That's me being snarky.
A
But really,
mandatory union break.
if someone
Every
could
hour.
explain to me why I had to stop for 10 minutes, for the most part, when we have delved into dungeons, we haven't really kept track of time because it's so abstract.
Sure.
You know, we've been like, okay, if you're out for a day, it's out in the real world. We did that. You know, if there's a mechanic that's making me keep track of all those turns in the dungeon, then I want to know why you're forcing me to stop, because now I'm taking one of those turns that I have to keep track of and arbitrarily getting rid of it. And I don't like it was kind of like, you know, the 100 gold piece per level that we talked about early on.
Yeah, right.
So I'm not feeling that. But if somebody could tell me, here's why, and here's what happens if you don't, and it made sense to me, then I'm like, okay, that makes sense. I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
Let's go. But you know, like, you need to take a rest break. I'm not sprinting through the dungeon. We're going slowly. The thief's, you know, maybe the thief is getting mentally exhausted. Guys, I need to take 10 minutes to rest. I can see that. But everybody else, I'm like, man, I fought 2 goblins, dude. I didn't even break a sweat. I'm okay. So yeah, I don't like that sort of thing.
Yeah. So OSE advanced anyway. I don't know if it's in the other one, but it says resting.
Where did you find what page?
I'm on page 211 of the advanced fantasy book. It says resting, frequency of rest. Characters must rest for 1 turn every hour in the dungeon. So turn is 10 minutes in this case. A penalty for not resting. If characters press on without resting, they suffer a penalty of -1 to hit and damage rolls until they have rested for 1 turn.
Yeah, but why? You know, that's an
right.
arbitrary
No,
enforcement of an arbitrary rule.
Yeah.
You know, there's just you know, it's story time with Jason. I was deployed to Bosnia in 1996, and while we were in the Lajman area, we heard an explosion. I was a combat engineer, and my squad was tapped to go out. And it turns out there was a Bosnian guy outside the wire that hit a landmine. So my squad was tapped to go into the minefield and pull the guy out. And I was a brand new sergeant, brand new E5, and I mean brand new like a month. But I was one of the team leaders. So myself, the other team leader, and the squad leader, the 3 of us are the ones that actually did it. And you know, we're throwing a grapple hook into the minefield and pulling it through. You're looking for tripwires. And we finally made it to the guy, pulled him out, mission closed. It was 5 hours. And it felt like it was 10 minutes. And I have never been more tired in my life. I was absolutely exhausted. So I could see that level of stress being why I would take 10 minutes in the dungeon. But I need to know why I'm being made to stop. And unless that 10 minutes doesn't mean anything, and okay, fine, we're going to take a break because I don't care.
Right. So can I give you my view on it? Because I have this a lot because I play 2nd edition. And a lot of people are like, oh, the 1 minute round doesn't make any sense. I can only attack once in a 1 minute round. I can only move 120 feet in a 1 minute round.
Mm-hmm.
And I try to explain to people, listen, it's just a mechanic. It's that 1 minute round is just a container to dictate what can be done in a turn, right? Forget about the 1 minute. Ignore it. You could say it's 10 seconds if you want. It doesn't matter what the time frame is. It's just what you can do in 1 turn. So when I look at something like that and it says, hey, you can move for 6, you can crawl for 6 turns in a dungeon or 5 turns, and then you got to take a 1 minute, 1 turn rest. That's saying 10 minutes out of every hour, you got to stop. You know, if you're walking through that dungeon and you're moving at the normal pace you should dungeon crawling, you're not running through it. You're right. You're going through it. Maybe somebody's poking at the floor, checking things. You're checking things out. You're moving slow, trying to be quiet, not make a lot of noise and attract attention. You know, I don't know. I don't see it as that big of a deal as long as you're just consistent with the rules. So you just, everybody's on board and say every 5 turns, you got to take 1 turn break.
Mm-hmm. I guess.
Yeah, it doesn't have to make sense, I guess. It's just,
So my take there is like, what are we doing during the 10 minutes from a game perspective? Mm-hmm. Does anything happen? Do we like get hit points back?
No, you don't get hit points back. You just don't lose. You don't get a -1. And then, basically it's another 10-minute round or 10-minute turn where the GM ticks the clock for a random encounter.
Okay, I think I would rather just have 12-minute turns then.
Yeah, right. Yeah, no, I was gonna say that. It kind of is
Yeah.
like just skip the whole BS about the rest and just say you have 5 dungeon turns in an hour, or
That-
whatever.
Yeah, you roll 2
Whatever
random
it is, right.
encounters at the top of the hour and one
Right.
every other time.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm with
Whatever it is,
Jason.
yeah.
That just doesn't mentally track with like what is my character doing here? Sorry.
And,
Yeah.
and
I don't-
that whole
yeah.
random encounter thing is what would annoy me. So I have to take a stop. I have to stand in place for 10 minutes. Meanwhile, the monster can still roam around. Random encounter. Oh, that 10 minutes that I was resting, I'm not resting anymore because now I'm fighting.
But
So
are you okay
what
in
happens
Shadow?
now?
Are you okay in Shadow Dark that none of the players can see in the dark, but all of the monsters, other than humanoid monsters, can?
Yeah,
100%.
because that's the makeup of the world.
Mikado, you were about to
The,
say something.
I
the
mean,
monsters can see in the dark.
Yeah, I don't remember ever like using that stuff. Like I use that stuff, but like Jason said, like there's a reason why. Like, oh, like this section of like they're going through like it was when my group is in the Underdark, like and a lot of the cave systems and stuff that they've explored, like I explained to them, it's like this isn't like a dungeon passage where it's just a straight hallway or a curved hallway or whatever. It's flat, easy terrain. Like it's a cave. So you're climbing and you're, bouldering basically a lot of times. It's not just a run down a smooth tunnel all the time. So I'll do stuff like that where it's like, you're getting your ass whooped physically because you're like up, down, and it's that. But like, say you're in like a legit dungeon, like a tomb or whatever dungeon with flagstone walls and floors. I'm gonna get tired walking an hour. Like I don't think so.
Yeah.
well, 50 minutes.
50 minutes, yeah.
50 minutes, you're gonna
No,
get
it's not
tired.
gonna
You gotta-
happen.
you gotta take a
Maybe
break.
not
maybe
gonna
wearing plate mail and carrying up to my max
Yeah.
in treasure.
I think it's
Yeah.
the
Oh,
I think what it is the Adventurers Guild mandates that because you're carrying all this treasure and gear that every 50 minutes you need to
That
take
makes
a
sense.
10-minute.
so it's
timeout.
really the hirelings pushing this rule. I can see
Yeah.
it.
You've got hirelings.
The porters, the
Eat
porters
up
are
your
behind this.
constitution, sir.
Yeah. We need to do some exercise when we get back to town. Put you on a regimen.
Yeah,
But other
Um,
times, if it's strenuous, like I've done ones where, like they're fleeing from a superior force. Like this was not technically a dungeon; they were trying to get this village away from this invading warlord band of bugbears, and I was making them make like Constitution checks, like because it's like, oh, we have to run for an extended period of time, like.
yeah,
With all of our
right.
shit on. Plus,
I
try
would
to keep
totally
all of these
understand
villages, keep us right, because it's giving you
Yes.
that reason that you're looking for, and it makes sense. Like we're running for hours,
Yeah.
if
and
not
the wizard with
like
the 7 constitution
days.
is not going to be able to keep pace with a fighter with a 16 constitution.
no, absolutely not.
Roger, your book must have different page numbers than mine because
This
I've not.
this was the Player's Tome.
Yeah, Player's Tome.
Player's Tome, Old School Essentials, Advanced Fantasy, Gold Leaf Edition.
Yeah, I don't have the gold leaf edition, but what page
That's
number?
it.
There's an extra gold leaf page in there.
There's an extra Gold Leaf page.
They're all off.
Yeah,
Throws a count.
211. It's
Throws a-
in the section called Dungeon Adventuring.
Throws a count totally off.
All right, so 211 for me is 211 for me is that. That's not dungeon adventuring.
Yeah, well, mine is. I don't know what to tell you. But
You didn't see it, but on the inside cover is very tiny print that says printed by Troll Lord Games.
No,
I have the same as Roger.
212 is where mine starts actually.
It's the gold leaf, man. It's
The
one
gold
page.
leaf.
Yep.
We were right. It's off by 1.
off my page.
You must have a Roger. You must have a first printing of the game.
It maybe. I don't know.
That's what mine is. It should say on the inside page.
I don't have anything on the inside
So-
page. Oh, hang on.
No, I
Um,
mean like this page.
Oh,
Hold
first
on.
printing, November 2020,
Yeah,
version
that's what I have
1.0.
too. same.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
That's what all the cool kids have.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Sorry,
Yes.
Mike. Some of us were here from the beginning.
Yeah, well, that's good for you.
What?
You still don't seem to know rules, so maybe you should read the book.
Thanks, Mike. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So time. Yeah. So that's time, right? Well,
Actually, 222 is dungeon adventuring in this book.
Oh, okay.
Wow,
That's weird.
11 extra pages.
Wow.
How many pages
So-
total are in that book?
Well, if I go to the back, 247 is the second page of the open game license.
That's the same as mine.
That's weird. They're just
Really
swapping
is
script.
true.
We have the same
So
amount of pages, but they've So I have a newer version. I probably have the better designed version
Yeah.
Mhm.
since
Yeah,
they
they probably changed
reordered
some
things.
some
Fine.
stuff. Yeah. We'll have to compare the table of contents someday.
Yeah.
But yeah, fun times. So this goes back to some old games, and I try and do this every now and again. But how do you guys feel about doors that automatically shut? Like that was back in the day. That was like
I've
the thing
done,
where
I've
the
never
doors
done
would
that unless
close.
there
I've
was
never done that.
You'd
unless
have
there
to
was
have
like
like
a
pitons to hold the door open or whatever, or something to jam it.
Unless there was
OSD
a-
reforged.
unless there was some kind of mechanical reason why.
Yeah,
Maybe the
right.
Yeah.
if it sat on a slope or something and the door
Yeah.
opened outwards, so it would always
That was always the thing. I think it's even in OSE. I would look it up, but then we'd argue about that page number for 20 minutes. But should I say for 2 turns? But I think OSE says the same thing.
Let's
where
take a
it's,
break in 3.
We'll have to take a break. It says the same thing, that doors automatically close, and and that was like a thing in first edition. That it and I think basics
Yeah.
and all that.
I never used that stuff unless, like
Yeah.
Mike said, unless there was a reason, like it was designed that way, or
Yeah, or somebody comes
never-
through and closes the door or something like
Right.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, for me, every element of the dungeon is only there to like help me tell the story of the dungeon.
Sure.
And so, if it's trap, it's designed by kobolds, and the feeling of it should be koboldish, right? Not designed by a lich or something.
Right.
So if it's an automatic
Vinci.
closing door, then yeah, in the Lich's dungeon, a ghost is going to close that door behind you. And in the Kobold dungeon, a weird little string with a weight on it pulls, and now there's a
Yeah.
latch that flips. But
I'll be honest, this
Yeah.
conversation is only reminding me of why I love 2E so much, because a lot of these weird, obscure rules have been done away with. They've, applied common sense to the situation rather than having a hard rule to it.
mhm.
I know you don't like 2E, Roger, but I mean, I told you it's okay that you're wrong.
Yeah, no, it's all right. It's just not something that I really like grew up playing. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
played
yeah,
basic.
I didn't either.
And then got into some 1E stuff.
I started in '86. I started DMing in '88. In my town, there were no game shops. There was nothing. There was Walden Books. So in 1989, second edition came out, and that's what
Mhm.
was available. So, I have my 1E
Sure.
books that I've had, but we wanted to buy new books, so we'd buy them. And I could tell you, up until about 2000, when I had stopped playing for a while, we literally played a 1E 2E hybrid all along.
Yeah,
Mixed in the rules we liked, and
Yeah.
That's what we did. I had AD&D and then saw no reason to switch to 2E, but like something would come out that I liked, so like I think, oh, we'll grab that. Like the kit books were real popular. Like we'd grab those and stuff. So the
kit-
complete books, I should say. I
Well,
never
those-
got any of the green ones like Jason though. Those are. I wish I had been more into that as a kid because I still have all my
I have
flat
all
books.
I have all the red ones and I have all the blue ones. The blue ones are some of the best books made for second edition.
Preach.
Yeah.
They sure are, man.
The
Yeah.
green ones, the reason I never had the green ones, they're great books and all, but I always ran my own homebrew setting and I never really wanted any of this stuff. I didn't,
Yeah.
It reminds me of Castles and Crusades, and Davis wants to throw in every freaking period weapon known to man in the game. And it's like, why?
And
And
they
give
all
him
do
a base
1d3
damage of
damage.
3.
1d3 damage and cost 5 silver pieces.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I just never got
Um,
into those. That's why I don't know them.
We were talking about death earlier when we were talking about well, mostly Ken dying, but how do you guys feel? So in Shadow Dark, right? I guess that's probably the comparison system, at least for me today, right? Because
That's what we're all
happened
playing
to
right
playing,
now.
and
Yeah.
So death in a dungeon. Well, no, not death, right? But like, so Ken's character goes to 0, and and then the thief, puts a finger in his wound and
It's crazy.
stabilizes him, right? And so and then he's like, so he's stabilized at 0, right? And then and then eventually the cleric like heals him. So and he's back up, right? Like when he gets healed, he's he's at 3-4 hit points, whatever, and boom, he's pop up, he's good as new, right? Like in some of the older systems. Now, I'm not saying that we should be punishing, right? But in some of the older systems, it was like, everything's at like a -4 or whatever until you can like rest for like 2 or 3 days or whatever. Even if you're healed the full, but if you go to 0, you're considered.
But,
You need that healing time before you can.
but I can tell you in AD&D, anything below 0 was an optional rule, which most
Right.
people I knew used. So that was the benefit. You can survive below 0. They come and bandage you up and you're at -4. But by the rules on the death's door, no amount of healing can bring you above 0.
0, I think, yeah.
You have to have natural rest to be able to move. And I know some people are like, "Oh, it sucks. We're in a dungeon, and now we got to leave the dungeon, or we got to find a place to camp down." Well, that's part of the game. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, I get it. I'm just
I
wondering,
agree
how
with
do you
that.
feel about that as opposed to
I
like
got
the
a
way
question.
Shadow Dark does it?
Well, I got a question. You mentioned in Shadow Dark, say he goes down. You said the thief stabilizes him and then heals him.
The thief.
No, I stabilized him.
Or not-
and then the cleric.
Or,
cast
I'm sorry, the
Cure Light.
cleric. Yeah, but why wouldn't you just have the cleric cast Cure Light?
He was
Because-
inside a cloaker at the time.
He,
Oh,
Yeah, Ken with his magnificent constitution rolled whatever he rolled, and then he had 1 round left.
Yeah.
And my thief was the only one, as stupid
Okay.
as he is, that was consciously aware of the fact that Ken's about to die.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So instead of attacking another cloaker, I ran over and
And the
stuck my
cleric-
finger in the hole.
and you got lucky
And the-
because
and the
stabilize
cleric
is
realized-
not a-
Heck yeah, I did.
right.
He's
and
got
the
a
cleric
-1.
went after.
Yeah,
Ken,
I said
so-
earlier that if Ken's wizard dies, my thief's going to leave the group. My thief feels that Ken is his older brother. They're not related. Everybody knows I get too deep into my characters, and I have not done that with this guy. But my guy is monumentally stupid, and every time we go to town, I roll 6 on the carousing charts. The Thieves Guild takes 10% of my money. The only people that have not abused or taken advantage of my thief is this party. And the only person in the party that dipshit, that is my character's name, really believes is looking out for him is Ken's wizard. So when Ken's wizard started getting beat down, my thief immediately went into, I must protect him. And so I ran over and tried to do first aid. I could not even watch the die roll because I knew I was going to roll a 2 or some nonsense like that.
Yeah.
I
That's
turned away.
incredible.
And I dropped the die on the table and everybody started cheering. And I
Yeah.
looked and I had rolled an 18. And so
Yeah.
with my -1 intelligence, I got a 17. I was like, oh my God, I saved him. And so
That's
then
wild.
so now he's stable. So then we finished off the cloakers because the cleric was covered by a cloaker. In fact, both of them were.
Yeah.
And so we finished off the cloakers. The cleric came over and then healed him. And then 5 minutes later, he got stabbed again and went down again. That's how it happened.
Yeah, whatever happened to rule of first heal stabilize only brings you to 0. And then, yeah, I haven't seen that one in a while either. I don't know. I don't know if that was 3E or not.
CNC, it must have been because CNC has it.
Okay, CNC does that. Yeah, it brings you to 0.
Yeah,
Um,
you can go up after that.
but
That's how we
but-
do it.
Yeah, I mean, and so I mean, it seems like we're mostly at a consensus. I don't remember, Mike. How does second edition handle it when you're
Second
in the
edition,
dungeon?
second
you
edition
die.
handles it if you go down below 0. That's what I was just looking for. But I grabbed the player's handbook. I need the DM's guide.
All right. So
You know,
yeah, and
Mike
go ahead.
Mike talked earlier
ahead,
about the players complaining because now we got to go back to town and all that. For me, it depends on the level of realism that you want in your game. If you're playing high fantasy, I don't care if the dude goes to full hit points overnight. It's just not a big deal. If I'm playing something like Grim and Perilous, which I won't play because the guy doesn't want me to, but whatever. If I'm playing something that is purposely difficult, Grim and Perilous or Lion and Dragon, RPG Pundit, his stuff is very realistic in the rules. If I'm playing something like that, and my character gets taken down to -4, but I survive, I expect to have bed rest for a week. And that's just, guys, go on without me. It's not a big deal. I understand. Because there's that level of realism that is built into the system. But otherwise, it just doesn't matter to me, man. The healer can bring me all the way up, or I need bed rest. It's fine. Whatever. I'm okay with either way.
Yeah. And,
Okay, so
yeah, there you go.
Well, I was wrong about it. So the hovering on death's door optional rule says that if you go below 0, you immediately drop and you lose 1 hit point around until your wounds have been bound. At -10, you die.
Yep.
And it says if cure spell of some type is cast upon him, the character is immediately restored to 1 hit point, no more. Further cures do the character no good till he's had at least 1 day of rest.
Yeah.
Until such time he's weak and unable to fight and barely able to move, must stop and rest off and can't cast spells, and is generally confused and feverish. He is able to move and can somewhat hold disjointed conversations. That's it. If heal is cast, the higher level heal spell,
Yep.
his hit points are restored as per the spell, has full vitality and wits. So if you just use a cure light, he gets to 1 hit point, and you're still going to have to go and camp, but you're not dragging his body around. He can still help him get out of the dungeon,
and he has to rest often. Is that more than 10 minutes an hour then? Or
there is no 10 minutes an hour in second edition.
He's got to rest for 20 minutes an hour.
Yeah.
That's no. So do you use that rule, Mike?
Yes.
Okay.
Hovering on death's door, we always use that.
Okay.
We did not use the second part of the rule, and that was one of those things that for 20 years we started doing it back, when we were teenagers, and never paid attention to the second part of that about not being able to heal above 1.
Right.
But I'm a stickler on this stuff these days. We play a game and I read these books over and over, and I'll be like, "Hey guys, did you see this?" And so we've adopted some of them. I don't know if they're better or worse.
Do you think that would work in Shadow Dark?
Well, I allowed them to heal, to cast Cure Light on a downed character, and they got full. They were able to get however many hit points they healed them for, and they got back up.
Yeah.
I didn't make them heal to 1. There was no rule that said so.
Right.
That's one of those things I try, especially playing a new system. I try and play it as close.
Run it as written. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree.
I don't like making house rules until you actually know what works and doesn't.
Yeah.
I think the thing with Shadow Dark too is I don't know if because like in CNC that how I run it is if they go below 0, they get healed. That only basically brings them to 0 and stabilized, regardless of how much hit points they roll. Not regardless. I mean, if they're down 2 hit points, they're -2, and the healer rolls 12 on his healing roll, he's only at 0. And then he has to burn another spell if they want to bring him up so he's up and around and moving. He's just not going to die. I wouldn't do that with Shadow Dark just because, at least in my experience with it, Shadow Dark, you're fragile enough as it is. I mean, bringing some guy back up to his full hit points might be 1 to 3 hit points. It's not, anything crazy. So it's
yeah, right.
Yep.
Yeah. What 2E lacks is any type of rules for dungeon movement. They don't differentiate. So, and
Really?
we never played it that way. We played it with you go into a dungeon, you've got your base movement rate. That's how we moved.
I'm just amazed that you said 2E was lacking something.
That's wild.
Yeah, well, so I just looked at the 1E book, and 1E doesn't have any exact rules for that movement either.
Oh,
AD&D. So they got away from it. So BX and DECME and OD&D
Yeah.
all had rules for that stuff.
because I thought
And-
it was you can move your movement, and that was a dungeon turn because you're and you're moving slower
Well,
because
yeah,
it's
you still
exploring
have
and all
turns and all that stuff, but I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. They've got like terrain costs for movement, but that's all outdoor stuff.
I
Yeah.
mean, it makes sense. You're kind of like in the way that we're talking about it now with the 10-minute turn. This is like a mini game the way you break into combat, and it's a whole different subsystem.
Yeah,
And so it would make sense in the original that you're not breaking into a different thing. You're moving around just like you were moving around. Walk through the dungeon, and then if we need to stop and think about things, we'll use whatever mini game that is.
yeah, right. Yeah, that makes sense. Mike is Bill Sylvie's younger brother. I don't know. I don't understand that reference. Okay,
I don't either.
that's great.
Is it
The
my-
Tales of Bargosa
is it
is
my-
what you were talking about earlier, Dakota?
Yeah, that's the one I showed earlier. This game.
Oh,
here.
okay, because everyone keeps saying good things about it. I'm going to have to check it out.
Yeah,
Yeah, definitely slept on that game because I've been reading it. Well, I've been reading the PDF, which I honestly rarely ever do, other than like I'll skim it. But the thing I had with it was every time I would read something, I'd be like, "Oh, I really like how that works," and it would urge me to read to the next thing, and I'd be like, "Well, shit, I really like how that works too."
Is
Yeah.
that the PDF that you sent me a couple weeks ago?
Yeah,
Oh, okay. I have to download it
Yeah.
to my tablet and read it.
yeah. You can live stream for 4 hours, Matt, because you're sitting down. But I mean, if you're walking around a dungeon, you definitely need a 10-minute break every hour.
I don't know, man. 9:30 hits and I'm starting like, oh God, I gotta go to bed. But I've also been dealing with my
Checking out.
job for all day, so
Yeah.
maybe it's the same
Um,
thing.
Man, we finished that stream last night, and they wanted to talk for another hour.
Yeah, we do that too.
We used to do
Yeah.
that. Not anymore,
Yeah,
man.
but it's
Well, yeah.
yeah, but
Yes,
it's
I
not
gotta
midnight
go.
when we're getting off.
So.
Yeah.
Oh, Bill thinks there's no other no point to other editions after first
So
edition.
I'm not like Bill Sylvie. First of all, I loved 1E, played it forever, but I've thought about going back to play it, and then I look at the mechanics. I look at the
That's right.
yeah,
Man,
there's just
I
too
remember
much.
this
I
being
mean,
better.
initiative is a hot mess, and segments
Yeah.
is just a pain in the ass, and it's just there's too many things in it that I would
I
rather
keep
just
wanting
play
to go
2E.
back to it. I keep wanting to go back to it. I keep threatening to run it every now and again.
Yeah,
So,
Yeah,
we had
I
many
kept-
debates over that.
You
should
can always
run,
play it. You can play with your
Adventures
goofy
Dark and
Osric
Deep
book.
instead.
You know, it's funny you mentioned that because I was looking through my books before we started, and I realized I had this book, and I'm like, even in any game I run, man, this book is going to be
That's
That's a
good
good book.
stuff. I
Yeah,
use
that's
that
gonna be
too.
great.
Yeah,
I
that thing's
bought this-
awesome.
I bought this from him at page 2, and it's been sitting on my shelf ever since. I've
Yeah.
never
I
even
bought
opened
it
it.
at.
Oh,
I
that
bought it
thing's
at my
awesome.
first
Mike.
ShireCon. Yep.
Yeah, that thing's awesome. I had the predecessor to that book, the old like white and maroon one that he had.
Let's see what this says about movement in dungeons.
Oh yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because I put this one aside too to
Yeah.
take a look at.
How many pages do they have?
Edgelord, I love
Yeah.
weapon speed. I think it's a great rule.
So mine has 128 pages.
So does mine.
Ah,
No, this is definitely really, really good stuff for all the tables and the mapping and stuff.
Yeah, that
Um,
one and the Wilderness Survival Guide are two of my favorite source books.
Yeah.
I think they're
Yeah.
phenomenal.
Um,
They're not without their issues.
I mean,
they go
if
on
you-
the non-weapon proficiencies, and that broke a lot in first edition. But I still love those two source books.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and the
those are
Jeff
good
Easley
books.
cover is
Yeah.
What's
And if you
the-
go into like the Dungeoneers one has like pretty much a great description of like the different levels of just the world. Like you go like, oh, it's like 8 to 10 miles before you get to this section, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's really cool.
It's definitely got a lot of cool stuff. They go into a lot of like caving stuff, like with gases and being able to
Yes.
breathe and all that, which
It's
is not
very well
something that
thought
you
out.
normally
It's a
run
great
into.
source book. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I
yeah.
still
You know,
use
and the wilderness survival guide, I'm always playing a ranger. It talks about, excessive wind speeds interfering with missile combat. And I'm like, oh, I would love to
Yeah.
have like real weather effects in my game. I really like that sort of thing. So for me, they're great.
Yeah, it's cool stuff. So while Mike's going to look that up, and something that kind of is touched on in the book is mapping. Right now, I'm normally pretty lenient with a map. Now, I used to not be. I used to have players make the map, and that got annoying because I would have players that wanted everything to be perfect, and and I kept getting, is this right? Is this right? And I'm
Yeah.
like, listen, man, you're under torchlight. You're trying to hurry through the dungeon. And so now I just end up putting the map out on the table generally, or at least parts of it, and let the players kind of go where they want to. If I have a clean map, that I can give them. But I'm thinking with Shadow Dark, I'm thinking I could go back to letting the players make the map, because then if the player doing the mapping is like, oh, is this right? I have zero problem saying, no, it's another square here, and this is this way, and that's that
Yeah.
way. Because if
We're
they
gonna be
want
like,
to spend
shut up.
if they want to spend the torch time of like measuring out hand spans along the hallway so that they get the the perfect length of the room or whatever down, then hey, that's fine with me, right? Like,
My
in the
guys threw a
meantime,
fit
Ken's
about
losing
that.
his mind because we got we're losing we're losing torch time.
Yeah.
Yeah. My guy, I asked them if they wanted to map, and they were like, oh, no, we're not going to waste torch time mapping. I'm like, okay. Well,
I would love to do it, but as a DM, I would not correct them. It's a 20 by 20 room with a door in the northeast and a door in the southwest. And if the guy puts the door in the wrong place, your map's wrong, dude. Like you said, you did it by torchlight. You're under duress.
Mhm.
Well, hopefully
Yeah.
it works for you. We'll find out.
Yeah. Now, I mean, when in Death Angels is I'm evil, right? But like back in the day, like when I was the map maker, I mean, it was awful. It was, and I think Ken, I think I've seen you do this, where you're not like drawing hallways, you're just drawing like little lines,
Yeah.
of like just a quick thing, like, oh, we went left here, we went right, we're in here.
Yep.
Here's a room with a goblin, so you put a G,
Yeah.
and it's just like an abstract. It almost looks like a subway map or something.
Yeah.
At that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's much more realistic than somebody sitting there with a piece of very expensive paper
Yeah.
or vellum or whatever,
Right.
scribbling away, trying to draw a 20 by 20 room. No, we went into a room. It was kind of big. It had three doors on it. One went left, one went right, one went straight.
Right.
That's
So-
my map.
But
Yeah,
I'm
Node
considering
map is-
going back to it for Shadow Dark, because I think that's what we're gonna end up with. Sorry,
So
Ken, I jumped in there. What were you saying?
somewhere on my computer, I have a JPEG file of a map that I played in a virtual Greyhawk game years ago, and Alan Grohe was in the group, and Alan Grohe said, "I'll map," and we went into this dungeon,
Yeah.
and he mapped, and the DM Les was just like that, spitting it out real quick. When we got done, he shared his map with everybody, and Les shared his
Yeah,
map,
and it looked
and it
better
was like,
than
oh my God, it was like spot on. I was like, how did you do that? Because, I mean, the description was just real brief and quick, and he spit it out. And Alan Grohe never once asked him to repeat it. He just scribbled his stuff down. But, man, it was a good map. These guys that have done it for decades, they're good at it. If you ask new players today to try and do it, forget about it.
yeah.
My guys
we
did
don't
the same.
also-
do it.
What's that?
Go ahead, Dakota.
Yeah, we don't really. I mean, I think I have one of my players. I know he messes around with maps, both like dungeon and especially like world type maps, like when they do a lot of overland travel in my game. So like he'll, I don't always have a great map for it. So he's kind of like doing a rough map of it. But a lot of it, honestly, didn't even, it really became a non-consideration when I started using a lot of terrain because it was like, I
Yeah.
build the whole, Dwarven Forge thing out, even if it's a small 2x2 thing. Like at that point, it seems it's kind of like a waste of time. I get
Yeah.
it realistically, like you'd want to do that, obviously, if you're spelunking through a cave or some dungeon maze. But like
Yeah.
when the whole thing's literally right in front of your character, it's like, okay, I can wave my hand at this and not worry about it.
Yeah, there's not really a point of having a mapper if you have terrain in front of you for them to see.
Right.
Yeah.
You can't be
think-
like, oh, which way are you heading back? Nope, it's not left. You
That
screwed
way.
up on your map. No, they're looking at the
Yeah.
thing going, I'm going
Yeah,
this
looking
way.
at-
I'm
That's where
they're
we came
moving
in.
their character.
Yeah, so it's like it kind of went by the wayside. I mean, depending on the type of game you want to play or run, I could see it being a thing, but I can also see it being a thing where is it really that big of a thing to lose?
Right,
Like it's not a linchpin to the game, right? Or at least the games I played.
I mean, obviously, I like terrain. I mean, you get that wow factor when you set that
Is that-
stuff up, and players are like, "Oh my god, that's great."
Yeah. Well,
I would
Ken,
actually
you
see
were-
it play more of a thing in overland travel because there's, in my mind, there's a much larger chance of you getting lost, right?
Yeah.
Like, oh
Mhm.
shit, like we had to go around this big land mass, or like the weather socked in, and oh crap, that tree looks familiar. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. But
Yeah.
we don't really use it.
Ken,
a
you
lot.
were trying to say something a couple times.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say this is one of those. I'm gonna give you the drawback to having people map. Although I think for our group, we'd be fine to do the mapping. But it's one of those things where this is a player skill and not a character skill.
Mhm.
Like my character might
Yeah.
be really good at mapping, but I don't make maps for a living. So and so it falls into that. Like I know some players get annoyed when you tell them, well, how do you seduce the bartender or whatever? Well, I don't know, but my character is really persuasive. So
I'm a nerd
I-
playing D&D. I don't know how to
he
do
knows.
that.
Good
Yeah,
luck
right.
mapping that out.
yeah, right. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Right.
So I could see, as a general advice, check with your group. I enjoy maps, but I, like he said, I just do node maps because I don't need
Yeah.
to know that there were 3 turns in the hallway. It's a straight line. It goes to another room. That's
Mhm.
it. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you there. We haven't done mapping in a long time.
Yeah.
It makes sense when you're theater of the mind.
Yeah.
Um,
I just
yeah.
wonder how good it would work with Shadow Dark with the torch timer.
mm.
It'd be a
it's
good way to
interesting.
burn torch time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it kind of seems like a dick move on the DM's part at that point, though.
Okay.
that's true.
I mean,
I mean,
yeah,
Perfect
I mean,
for our table.
You think of every other game. Think of every other game where
thanks.
you
Ken.
might have used a mapper. Time is measured in turns, not
Yeah.
not real life time.
Yeah.
As soon as you put that real life
Yeah.
timer on them, and you start requiring them to do things like that.
No,
Yeah,
I'm
it's-
not requiring. There's no
Well-
requirement. You don't have to make a map.
Do you want to get back out?
I mean, yeah, like, that's the thing. Like, well, you get to the intersection, which way do you go? I mean, it helps, if you have
Yeah.
a map, but, yeah, no, and I'm pretty much like at the point where like, that's not the mini game that I want to play at the table.
That's
You know,
true too, right?
Like, so that's why I generally just put the map out. Maybe if the party's going through the dungeon and like all of a sudden there's like an ambush and the players decide to run, maybe depending on how deep they are in the dungeon, whoever's in the lead, maybe make them, roll an intelligence roll or something to see if they, at speed kind of remember where they're, where they're
Mhm.
going or something. But I mean, I don't, even that seems a little, like dickish or whatever to do, So
Me too. It
maybe I'd
depend
like
on
to.
the layout of the dungeon you're in. I mean, if it's like a maze, like the map that Mike
Right.
held up, that would
Yeah.
be like, okay, you need to make some checks on the way out of
That's
here
what
to
I
make
mean.
sure
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
don't get lost. But if it's like
Well-
the other dungeons that he held up for, or somebody held up for
Oh, right.
that Shadow Dark adventure, I mean, come on. Like,
Yeah,
if you can't
right.
find
Yeah.
your way out of that, you probably shouldn't have gone in there.
So I'll be
Yeah,
honest. I'll be honest, and I might be in the minority here, but for my games, I much prefer stuff like this to
Yeah.
giant hulking
Oh, no.
dungeons that take sessions and sessions and
100%.
sessions. I like stuff
I
like this.
agree. Like a 1 session type of dungeon.
Yeah.
I agree, but I also like occasionally like want to see like a huge dungeon that can't get like completed in like one
So-
session.
So look,
Or,
I've never run this, right? But
Yeah,
I've run,
yeah.
but my players have gone into Undermountain plenty of times. But it's always been for little short stints, like, hey, you got to go recover this for us,
Right.
and they'll,
Right.
they might be given them a little map, and there was an entrance to come in, or they had a guide. I never ran this because I'm not
I'm
all
using that
about
right
just
now.
killing my players. You're using the return or the original?
Wow.
Oh, is that the return?
That's
That's
return.
Yeah.
That's return.
No, I'm using the original. Oh, is that Tomb of Horrors?
Those
Yeah.
two more horrors, yeah.
Oh yeah, fuck
It
that
com-
adventure.
It
No,
comes
I'm
with the
using
original also.
Raw to 7 parts. The box is very similar. Yeah.
Yeah.
I played Tomb of Annihilation. That was, I mean, it was my buddy Chris did a great job running it, but not my favorite adventure.
Yeah.
This one I would actually
Dragon
love to
Mountain.
run. This is like level 9, 10 to 15. In most of the dungeon, you're avoiding kobolds because they love to. They're little guerrilla warfare, shooting poisoned arrows at you and everything else throughout there. But there's multiple, tribes of kobolds and different factions. You got to actually work with some of them. And
Yeah.
It's-
I like Tomb of Horrors was just made to kill players.
Yeah.
And I
It was
I
designed
would
for-
love to run Tomb of Horrors for a group, not like my regular campaign. I mean, I would run it for that group, but not for like those characters, unless somebody really wanted to run those, run their character through there.
lose their
But
character.
like do it with like maybe like in Shadow Dark, maybe do like 10th level characters or something, right? And have them go through and just let them generate new characters, new 10th level characters as people die, and just see like how many characters we go through to
you
finally
run-
defeat.
you run it like a
Isra.
gauntlet, a high
You know
level
what I mean?
gauntlet.
Yeah, a high level gauntlet. Like because I think like just getting in the right front door is like, you know what I mean? You lose 3
Yeah.
people to that. You know what I mean? I mean, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Like the first 2 pages of that module is like about the false doors. And there's no,
I haven't played this yet.
stone
but
hell.
One of the nice parts about it is, it's broken up into smaller sections. I mean, level
Yeah.
2 is actually pretty big, but it's still broken up into 4 sections.
Yeah.
So you can split it up rather than being a whole dungeon crawl. I mean, you get into them and they're all smaller
Yeah.
areas that combine to make a big one.
I had run the world's largest dungeon in 3rd edition, and that has, I believe it's 16 maps that are all 17 by 22. And it's huge. I mean, every like section has its own kind of thing going on. And
I have
mean,
to
it
question
was-
if it's really larger than Ardenval.
I
Ardenval
don't
is
know.
5 tomes, and they just released a 6th one.
Yeah, I
saw-
don't think that it's bigger than that. I mean, but that's what that's what they called it. I mean,
Yeah. Ardenval is actually well designed. That's something you could run a campaign in, and it's actually very good.
yeah,
Um,
I've got to read into it more. What I liked about the world's largest dungeon is every section, like every map section there, is kind of had like its own thing going on. So like you really only needed to read the one section of the book. Like it would give you the overview of what's going on in this one section of the dungeon. And then like generally there'd be something that you have to do in order to get to the next section. So like the doors would be locked to the next section because there's certain factions or whatever that have the key or whatever. So you kind of had to like deal with that before you go to the next section. So it kind of like kept everything contained as you went through, which I think was nice. But I mean,
And now somebody brought up Dragon Slayer earlier. I've never played any of Greg's dungeons. I have a couple of them on PDF. I don't have any of them on books. The only reason I haven't got into them is because a few people I know that have run them told me that like Barrow Maze, they're like, it's great and all until you get a couple sessions in and you realize it's just killing the same undead over and over again. It's just a huge undead dungeon. There's not variety to it. And then you get into Highfell and it's got its theme, but there's no real variety to it. If I want to do a big dungeon, I definitely want some variety.
Sure.
But,
how is Arden Vol? I mean, is that?
I haven't run it. I have not run it.
Does it have like different sections with different things going on?
Yeah. Every section of the dungeon has a different theme to it, and there's different factions in there that might be at war with each other or cooperating. There's there's sections in there that aren't aggressive. You might be able to go in there and work with them, and so there's a lot. It's a living, breathing dungeon with lots of stuff going on. So but it's got to be a lot of work to prep it. I know.
I've heard that same thing about like the Gillespie's dungeons. I've ran a little bit of Barrow Maze, but like maybe 3 sessions. But I played like I think 8 or 9 sessions in Highfell, and I didn't feel that at all as a player.
No.
Like we met all sorts of different things, and there's a whole floating island of different wizard towers, and there's a lot of like there's some mystery to it with like some different things you locate, but you're not sure, or you find, and you're like, well, I don't know where. Like they're like portals and teleportation areas, but you're like, well, that looks like one that you'd be incoming from, but we don't know where it would, then you find an outgoing one, but you're like, I don't know where this take me. Different monsters, stuff like that. So I don't know. That one I think has a bit from so far. We're gonna play it again this summer. My son runs it, so he'll pick it up this summer.
Edgelord said he likes Funhouse dungeons. One that I really
was one of them. Yeah.
One that I really want to run. I have it here. My wife printed it for me. I was going to go buy it the other day. The problem is it comes from Turkey, and they've stopped shipping to the U.S. because of the tariffs. So I can't get it right now. And somebody had it on RPG auctions, but they wanted like $150 for it. And that's Castle Zentillin. And I've read through Castle Zentillin. It is like, I don't want to call it a haunted house, but it is. It's a big mansion, and the whole family is in there. They're dead. They're ghosts. And there's all kinds of factions within it, and things that you do inside of there will either please or piss off the family inside. And if you piss them off, it gets worse for you. But it's very highly rated. I heard it's really good. The stuff I read was really cool. A huge variety to it. It depends on the writing. I mean, I could stand Curse. I absolutely freaking love Ravenloft. I have the 2E House of Strahd. I have the first edition. I don't have the 3rd edition one, but I played the 5th edition one. That was the last 5th edition game we played, and I hated it. The stuff that they added felt like it was just shoehorning extra stuff in to make it longer.
I ran it. I used Hyperborea, and I ran it, and I modified and added a lot of the stuff from the 2nd edition, like supplements and things. And changed a lot of stuff, and
I did that
a lot
too.
Of work.
Yeah, I did that with
loved, Death House though. I liked that. I enjoyed it. That's how we
Death House was cool.
Just I used that.
The little things,
cool.
Just the little things about the.
I don't want to spoil like too much and stuff, but Death House my favorite part of Death House
The mirror.
was after they get through it and they
Yeah.
move on and they leave and then they come back.
Oh, okay.
They're like, "Are you kidding me?"
My favorite part was the mirror with the woman in the mirrors.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, it's
There's a
just
lot of
little
cool
things
stuff.
like that, you know, and when it happens and the players like, you know, all of a sudden they see somebody in the mirror looking back at them and realize it's a reflection in the mirror, but there's nobody there.
Yeah.
It gets them paranoid.
It's
You know, everywhere
right.
they go, they're paranoid. Like, what's
Yeah.
what's going to jump out at us?
I've always heard that Teagle Manor is another fun.
I had that, but I never ran it.
I've
So,
never played it.
and now I have it, but it is in a ginormous format because it's in the
So one of the
Goodman
Judges
Games.
Guild books.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's the Judges Guild books that Goodman put out.
Yeah.
It's like 11 by 17 pages
Wasn't it?
or whatever.
Wasn't it Frog God that put it out?
They
They did.
did
Frog
a
God, I thought,
reprint
did the reprint
of
yeah.
it, I think. Yeah, but they did like the original because Goodman had access to a bunch of Judges Guild stuff, and so they reprinted the original stuff in there. But yeah, it's it's pretty cool. So yeah, I'd love to run that. That's big though. A lot of stuff. So I don't know, could be fun, but
I think dungeons like that could be a lot more fun if the dungeon itself is well designed, and
sure.
instead of the focus being on the dungeon crawling mechanics, instead of worrying about your movement and the torch timer and everything, if you have a really well written dungeon that captures the players, I think
Yeah.
that could be more fun.
So yeah, I play in a monthly group where we're playing using Dragonbane, but we're playing a dungeon, mega dungeon called Ave Nox, and it's
Yeah.
a system neutral mega dungeon. So that that group really likes Dragonbane, which is awesome anyway. So we're using that, and it's awesome. Like it doesn't ever feel like, because the problem with like dungeons, especially mega dungeons, is they can get to a point where it just feels like you're just booting one door after another.
Yeah.
And there's no variety. And this thing is just chock full of variety. Like there's different factions, there's different weird friggin' monsters, and just it's really fun. Like I look forward to it every month when we get to play. Like it's a blast, and it's made by I don't know the name, but they wrote this book, which is The Weird and the Wild,
Yeah.
which basically takes a forest, a creepy ass forest, and gives you a way to make a forest encounter like a dungeon, right? And then they wrote this book, which does the same thing pretty much, but you take a city and kind of treat it like a dungeon. Both are really good books. I don't have the Ave Nox book because I'm playing in it, but I will eventually buy it just to have, because it is really cool. Like I have not. We've been playing it for a while too, and I mean it's not, like I said, it keeps it interesting and not getting bored with it. Like just because we're going in the dungeon, there's so much different things going on. And it's like and weird like stuff too, which I like.
At some point, we've all played 5e, right?
Yeah.
Sadly, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
sadly.
the one really shining point of 5e for me was what. I won't say it was Waterdeep Dragon Heist because I heavily modified it because I thought the adventure was poorly written. But I love running city adventures, urban stuff like that. I did pick up, it's in the 2E box set for the City of Splendors. I haven't run it in 2E yet, but I ran Blue Alley. I picked it up for 5E. It was on a third-party thing on DM's Guild. Blue Alley is a dungeon that's in Waterdeep. You actually go down this alley and go in, and this dungeon supposedly changes all the time. It was so much fun. It wasn't a huge dungeon. It took them, I think, 2 sessions to get through. They had all kinds of weird stuff, like had little things like there would be warnings on the wall. There was some treasure there, and if they picked it up, they got cursed, and they were at disadvantage for stealing the treasure. And they had other things that, like, there'd be a warning not to touch it, something. And if they did, they got teleported outside of the dungeon naked. So all their gear was still back in the dungeon, and they had to go back and try and recover it. And there were all kind of little quirky things in it, and they loved it. It was one of those, 2 sessions of people just laughing and just enjoying it. And it didn't matter that it was 5e and we were already starting to get sick of it. It was just fun to play. So that's why I think, just a well-written dungeon can definitely surpass the weird rules of each system. And, you don't have to worry as much about the dungeon crawling rules if you're just having fun.
Yeah, right. Well, I think that's right. Like, I think the hallmark of a good game and maybe even a good game master, right, is like knowing when to use the rules and knowing when to like push them out of the way, and only use the stuff that you need when you need to use it. Because if you followed like every rule to the letter, like I think no matter what game it is, right? Like, I mean, eventually it just gets old, right? Where you're like, because now you can't walk 5 feet without making a check or something, or so yeah. I mean, I think some of that's definitely on the GM, and I think having a like a good module definitely helps, with that, because it gets players out of the mindset of looking at their character sheet or looking at their abilities, and it gets them to look at like the player starts looking at the dungeon and saying, hey, what can we do here, or what's the next step, or what can we do, without looking at the character sheet and trying to push a button. So I think that's important.
Hey, Edgelord, have you looked at Curse Scrolls 6 with the City of Masks? I think you could have a lot of fun with City of Masks. I read through it. I like some of the factions in there. I like some of the stuff she put in there. Obviously I would imagine it's going to be expanded in Western Reaches, but it's a good starting point. I think, it'd be a fun city to run adventures in. I like urban stuff.
Yeah, I had tried to use Talus. That was that's Monty Cook's giant like city, and it was for 3rd edition, and I had used that, and it was I mean, my players spent like weeks there just doing stuff. Some of it was crazy because it's so big, and so they end up running around and trying to like find different shops and like going in all that, like running those sessions is just ridiculous. I hate those sessions of running just shopping sprees, but there was like stuff to do, from like the old lady that's got rats in her basement. Somebody stole the chalice from the, from one from one temple, and and it's from another. Then you find out it's wasn't the opposing temple, but a neutral temple. There's like a whole thing going on there, and so yeah, some of that stuff could be fun. It's generally not the game that I like to run, but I mean, with the carousing and stuff that's going on in Shadow Dark, I mean, I might have to change that. I don't know.
There's an old Dragon magazine or Dungeon magazine adventure for Waterdeep that some merchant hires you because he had gotten basically gotten a shipment in of some dinosaur eggs, and he had stashed them away in the back room, and they hatched overnight, and they escaped through the basement into the sewers. And he doesn't want anybody to find out about it, and he's like hiring the adventurers to go take care of it. So what I did was, when I started the campaign, I actually had the party escorting a merchant that was bringing those dragon eggs, and at some point he had split ways with them and asked them to deliver them. So they delivered them to the guy, and then it was 4 or 5 sessions later where now this came up, and he was getting them back there, and it all tied in, and they really enjoyed that because it all kind of fit in with it. And these are that's the one thing I love about Dragon and Dungeon magazine. You can find some great little adventures that you could just plop in anywhere. It doesn't matter what system. You could just, change the stuff up a little. You could run that in Shadow Dark easily.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I'd like to try and run some of those the older dungeons and stuff in Shadow Dark. I don't know how they're gonna how many changes and stuff I'll need to make, but
Well, and those are a good way to add your dungeon content into like a city. So they do all their stuff, but then when they call them, now you got to go into the sewers. So now you got your sewer maps, and it's a straight up dungeon crawl where you're hunting little baby dinosaurs.
yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that could be fun. Yeah, that's definitely more stuff that I want to do more of. Trying to have more little things like that are different plot hooks and stuff that going on in town and even for out of town stuff. But yeah, we'll have to see where that goes. So we talked a little bit about, I wrote down favorite dungeons. I know there was some talk in the chat. I think, about that. And we all talked a lot, but did you guys have any other favorite dungeons that you haven't been mentioned?
Palace of the Silver Princess. It was the very first dungeon that I ever got run through. My first time playing Dungeons and Dragons. My character survived, fell in love with Dungeons and Dragons, and that was that. Good to go.
Very cool.
Nice.
Smokehouse T1.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Moat House is fun.
Yeah, I've run Moat House so many times.
Yeah. I've always been partial to Keep on the Borderlands. I've ran that, I don't know, countless times in different systems and things like that. And it's just that was like my first module, that I ran from the basic set that I bought. So it's interesting.
Of course it was.
Oh my God. Of course it was, right? Of course it was.
Yeah.
But,
oddly enough, dungeons that I don't like Mike held up earlier, the Undermountain. I have Undermountain. I have never met a single person that can honestly say they went through the whole thing. I've met plenty of people that did a little bit here and there. It was designed to be this mega dungeon that, the whole story is you're going to go down and there's riches and all that. And it just feels tedious after a while. And I'm like, I don't, it ruins of Mithranor. Same thing with that, just.
But both of them, Ruins of Mithranor and Ruins of Undermountain, have you actually read the beginning of it? Because it specifically states it's not
in a very long time.
Yeah, it's not supposed to be played as like a straight dungeon crawl. It's
okay.
That's why there's like 20 entrances, and then they tell you, just add entrances where you want.
Sure.
It's run by the Mad Mage. If you want to switch around hallways and everything, they go down this entrance, think they're coming here, and put them on an opposite side of the dungeon. It's meant to be little spurts, and that's how I run it. I run it more of like, this guy hires them to recover. Oh, we've been looking for our family signet for the last 10 years since it's been gone, and we just got word that it's this tribe of whatever that's in Undermountain has possession of it, and they send you in there to go recover it. I think it works better that way than a straight crawl.
Sure. It came out when I was much younger, and everybody's got a bigger dick than the guy next to him. I did Undermountain, but then, tell me about it. Well, it was hard.
Yeah. The other problem with it is 3/4 of it isn't keyed. So they leave it up to the DM to key it. So unless you want to do all the work, it's not something you can just pick up and start running like that.
Chthonic, I have never even seen the orange cover. I know it's very pricey because it's very rare. I have a copy of the green cover. What the guy was running way back when I was 11, I couldn't tell you if he's got the orange or green. But yeah, I only have the green.
Ken, how about you? Favorite dungeon?
I got a soft spot for Rise of the Rune Lords, the Pathfinder.
Okay, yeah,
it's a great one.
That's a good one. Yeah,
there's an intro dungeon, and I think there's one towards the end of that adventure. They're both very memorable.
Did you run it or play it, Ken?
I played in that one.
Played it?
Yeah.
I have the
that was their
25th anniversary. I'd love to run
their first adventure path, wasn't it?
Right? Yeah, it was their first. I can't remember. It was their
first Pathfinder one.
Big one. Yeah.
Pathfinder one. Yeah.
It's their flagship.
That's cool. Yeah.
I'd love to convert it to like, I don't know, CNC or something and run it.
Yeah, for sure.
I
saw I actually bought, but I didn't enjoy the Savage Worlds Pathfinder that came out.
Oh
And,
yeah.
Yep.
they made Savage Worlds
They make a
Pathfinder
bunch of
rules.
stuff.
If you like Savage Worlds and love the Pathfinder world flavor, it's great. But they also put out the Rise of the Rune Lords Adventure Path.
There you go.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Rise of the
I-
Rune Lords Adventure Path in Savage Worlds Pathfinder.
I saw that. I've never played any Savage Worlds, so
That's
I was
just
like,
a weird. That's just a weird thing.
It's
to
worth
do.
trying one time.
Like, I get it. I like. There's very very few instances of, publishers, game publishers, that have taken like their whole kind of system and everything and converted it to, and like Pathfinder to Savage Worlds, right? It's not like you're going from Pathfinder to 5e or from Pathfinder to like CNC or something. Like you're
Yeah.
going to a completely different.
It's very different. Yeah.
and it's just
Yeah.
weird, and you really don't see that a lot. Where
I can tell you the thing it has in common is that your Pathfinder characters in both editions of Pathfinder, you're building with a bunch of feat selections,
Mhm.
class feat selections, and even racial feat selections. In Savage Worlds, Pathfinder ups the number of what are they called? They're not feats, or like edges or something.
yeah, I forget what they call
Perks
them
or
now.
something like that.
Yeah.
So whatever it is in Savage Worlds, you have a similar build process that you do, even though the dice are just all over the map.
Mhm.
It is not at all like playing Pathfinder. But when you go through to build the character, they have skills kind of like Pathfinder does. Yeah, it's a very different game though.
So I
if
think
you've never
Savage
played it,
Worlds.
go for it.
I think Savage Worlds is best in Deadlands, and part of
The-
that
the,
being
the OG,
because-
right?
Yeah, well, this is where Savage Worlds came from. It's
Yep.
when they decided to redo the rules for Deadlands, they made Savage Worlds, and it applies to a lot of systems. But I can't imagine running like Pathfinder with it. I never thought about running a fantasy game with it. I think it works good for this. It's a whole different type of system, though. You get skill points, you put them into skills. And those skills are like D4, D6, D8, D10,
Yeah.
D12.
Yeah,
And as you add up those skills, you move up to higher tiers, and those are the dice you roll.
Yep.
And then, of course, there's exploding dice. And if you roll the max, you get to roll again, and you keep going. And, when we played our Deadlands game, one of the players the party got challenged to a duel by a high level guy. And, nobody wanted to fight him. And then one of my players was like, screw it, I'll do it. I don't care. And he went up and he was like brand new and fought this guy. And he got three exploding dice 3 times in a row and killed the guy. And it was
Yeah.
like everybody's cheering and it was great. It's very improbable, but
Mhm.
anything can happen in the system.
yeah.
And it makes sense when you're sitting there shooting guns back and forth at each other. One good shot could take somebody out. Doesn't matter if you're low level, high level, whatever. He just got that one good shot because he got those exploding dice.
Yeah.
So, but the problem with it is it requires you to take cover, to go prone, to put conditions in there to make it harder. And they tried to play it like D&D. They wanted to just straight up fight people, stand and shoot
Yeah.
at them, and or run up and try and melee them. And it was tough because they made it very difficult on themselves. They
Yeah.
couldn't get out of the mindset because it's such a different game.
I will say, so I saw a comment here about Pathfinder is slower at higher levels. And yeah, 100% agree. Same with D&D. I think a lot of the D20
5e is too.
Yep.
Yeah.
will end up being very slow at higher levels. If you can learn Savage Worlds at lower levels and find it fast and compelling, I don't think that it gets worse as you get higher, because it's not a bunch, the math is not changing by such an amount that
Yeah.
you're really slowing things down. And like he said, in base Savage Worlds, you can get lucky and just one shot that dragon if you're the bard with the arrow or whatever. But yeah, it for my money, I found it to be very slow at first level. So it's like I don't know
true.
why we keep doing this.
Yeah.
I'm talking about Savage Worlds. So
Yeah,
yeah.
it's interesting. I just want to amend that. You know, you said D20 systems and stuff. I think like I would exclude like any of like the OSR kind of games from that person. I don't know if you would too, or if that's like
That's
I
an
mean like things
interesting
like
thought,
Shadow
yeah.
Dark or
I have
you
to
know,
see
I
at high
mean,
level.
yeah, I guess we'll see. You know, on higher level.
And next
Uh,
session, we'll just spend the whole time carousing. And
There you
the
go.
second
That's
after that, we'll
Carouse
find out.
9
Level
times.
10
Yeah,
characters.
Yeah,
I'll-
we'll do it.
I think you're right, Roger. Though, like in my experience with like seeing actually like a 5e game and an OSR style game run almost side
Yeah.
by side, like the difference in turn speed is pretty dramatic, just because you don't have
Yeah.
the laundry list of friggin' things you can do. Like,
It's like do the thing, and then it's the next person's turn.
and that's the
Not
thing.
do
And
6 things. Yeah,
I mean, the misconception is like people see like an OSR character sheet and they're like, oh, well, my character can't do anything. And like, that's not at all true.
Yeah.
But you don't have like, your action, bonus action, reaction,
Yeah.
all that nonsense just slows the game down.
Yeah.
And
Greatly
my
slows the game
experience with by a ton. And I've run big groups in both, and I would run big groups any day of the week with like CNC or any other, older style game, no problem. And
One,
5e Pathfinder, anything like that, no thanks. I
one
wouldn't
thing
wanna
that
run
really, really
period.
disturbed me about 5e was, as a DM for a long time, I really hated the fact that in 5e you really can't, at least in 2014 5e with the standard monster manual, you cannot throw a single monster against a party. They will
Yeah.
wipe the floor
Yeah, they'll
with it.
mark it. Yeah,
Yeah,
they will.
and it just becomes like we're just gonna do a quick burst of all of our abilities, and we're just
Yeah.
gonna wipe it in 2 rounds, and
Yeah.
then they're like,
So-
"Oh, who cares? We're gonna take a short rest, and we got them back."
So
Yeah.
when I was
See,
prepping
so
my
even in
campaign
5e,
finale,
even in 5e, you're taking a 10-minute rest every hour.
when I was prepping my 5e campaign, the finale of it, they were like the highest character was like 18th level. And I remember prepping that game and I had 11 different monster manuals out, and not one of them was the official 5e D&D Wizards of the Coast 5e monster manual, because that thing sucked. And
Yeah.
they pretty much gave up after the letter D.
Yeah.
And useless fucking book. I hated it. But other companies made good ones, like, for 5e, Cobalt Press made some awesome ones. I use their stuff all the time when
Yeah.
I was running 5e, but
I've got
Um,
Toma Beast 1, Toma Beast 2,
yeah, Creature Codex, those
and
are
I've
awesome books.
I've also got Flea Mortals, which was the last 5e book I had bought. We were running that Curse of Strahd campaign. We actually went back to it after CNC because they wanted to try Curse of Strahd. So I bought Flea Mortals thinking, okay, we get into it, maybe I get some
Well, I
tougher
have that.
monsters,
Yeah.
it'll be okay. But,
I never used it, but
no.
I got it, but by the time it came in, I was done with 5e. I kept it though, because it has some interesting ideas and stuff
Yeah.
that you could borrow for other games. But
Yeah, 3 and up brought us the superhero game. Yeah,
yeah, for sure it did.
Which some people love.
Sure.
It's just not my
yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
absolutely.
That's why I
It's
said, like,
definitely what people
I'm
wanna do.
obviously I can be very vocal about my dislike for 5e, but if that's the type of game you like, play the shit out of it. Like, have
Yeah.
a great time.
Yeah.
I just, after running it for a very long time and playing in it for a very long time with multiple campaigns, I have no desire to ever play it or run it ever again. Like, it's
Yep.
it's not D&D as far as I'm concerned. But
For me,
everybody has
that
their
was
own
a big-
opinion.
that was a big thing for me about 2E2 was the monsters. I had obviously had the monster manual, and I think hands down the 2E monster manual is the gold standard for how they should be produced. Single page per monster, nice layout. All the stuff that you need is in the stat block. All the descriptive stuff is down below. There's lore stuff, but it's all single page, which was great for me prepping because I would print out the monsters that I needed all on single pages. I could mark them up, do whatever I wanted, and throw them out when I'm done.
I have a bunch of the 2E monster manuals. Like I said, I'm always a big fan of monster manuals anyway. So
Well, so they I took every single one of I've got the hardcover, I've got the 4 soft cover the appendix books. I've got the Mystara appendix book. I got all the softcover ones, and then all the ones that were part of the binder that they didn't make into print books. I
Yeah.
took every one of those, went through the PDFs, made covers for them, sent them to Lulu. Or no, had my buddy print them. Those I didn't print those ones. Those ones I printed and I bound them with a comb binder. So I have every one. I've got like literally a stack of like 20 monster manuals for every little thing. If you want Kryn, you got it. You want Greyhawk, you got it. You want Mystara, every one of them there. I have a million options for it, and I absolutely just love that. I could pull stuff out of my ass that the players have never even heard of before.
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I got to start doing.
Pulling things
I
out of
just
your
gotta
ass.
start pulling things out of. Well, I mean, I do that anyway, but yeah. No, I got to start like just building my own
2-week
monster
collection.
manual or whatever. No, I've got enough. I've got enough 2 ebooks.
Yeah.
There's I don't know the exact name of it, but there's a book on Drive-Thru where a guy took all 6 Pathfinder bestiaries and converted them to Shadow Dark.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah, it doesn't have any art because the fucking book would be like as long as my
Right.
arm if it did.
Right.
But yeah, he converted all the monsters from the 1 through 6 bestiaries for Pathfinder and made them Shadow Dark.
Really?
I
That's
bet-
crazy.
Did you guys back the Roll for Combat bestiaries, the 3 of them?
Yeah.
I didn't.
No.
I did.
Yeah. I did also.
I did because I was all gung ho while I was at Page, and I was like, I got to buy more. So I backed them. And
yeah.
I think if I hadn't done it then, I probably wouldn't do it now just because I'd wait and see where this goes. But whatever, I already backed them, and they're already,
Yeah.
it was a late pledge, so it's already been paid for.
Yeah. It's a new one that they just got. It just finished on Kickstarter like a month ago, maybe
Yeah,
something like that. But yeah,
they're
they have
big.
3
It's like
new
300 page, like 300 page tomes of monsters.
Yeah.
One's
Yeah,
elemental.
definitely.
There's like elemental monsters. There's weird stuff. I forgot what they even are, but
Yeah, I forget the one of them's elementals, I think, and some of them are they Underdark and Wilderness or something like that. I don't know,
yeah.
but yeah, this looking this up, Ducato, it says
Just
Shadow
found it,
Finder.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shadow Finder is the name of that.
I like
Check that out.
I like these are for OSE. These are nice because
Oh, yeah.
what they do is they take all the standard monsters and then they're advanced. So they'll add, like, if you got oozes, there's 5 different variations of types of oozes, and with all different blocks for them. And they add, there's more dragons, there's more of this, there's just more of everything that's standard in it. It doesn't introduce new stuff, like new whole monsters. It introduces variants of each of the old types,
Right.
which is nice because you can keep your players on their toes when they like, oh, we fought this before. No, you haven't fought this one.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, this is crazy. It's $50 for the soft cover black and white book. 520 pages. It
They
says
said
nearly 1,800 descriptions and stat blocks.
That's
This is for
wild.
the Shadow Finder there.
I think that's neat.
Crazy.
I just I think I can make up monsters I need for the next session 95% of the time.
Yeah. My
Especially
only
with
issue
the
with
grid light system, right?
Oh, right. Yeah, with the light system, it's easy. I think my issue with that is because the art isn't there and it's like 6 bestiaries. Like I'm only gonna know a quarter of what's in there. Like there's just gonna be some weird
That's great
name
though, right?
thing, and I'm not gonna know what it is. So I'll have to.
Yeah, I can't
Make it up.
imagine. I can't imagine getting like the Kobold Press books and not having artwork because they got some weird off the wall monsters in
Yeah.
there. And
It didn't, I mean, I don't have it, but like, I thought of that too, because that's one of the things that used to bother me about the that Monsters and Treasures book that Mike
Yeah.
held up is it didn't have art for all the monsters, and some of them I'm like, I have no idea what this friggin' thing is. But with the Pathfinder one, I have all 6 of the bestiaries. So if it's like, what the hell's this thing?
Yeah, but
I'll
now
just go
you're going to
look at the-
reference. Now you're going to reference 2 books of or 7 books,
Not
right?
the-
Those 6 things at the table or whatever. Or I mean,
No, I'm gonna look it up before I run it and be like,
Well,
oh, that's
yeah.
what it is. And if I need
Right.
to, I can go to Google and be like, show me a picture of this
wow.
fucking thing, and then just print that picture off, and this is what you guys see.
Roger, what
Credit-
Ducato is
credit
referring to there is called prep.
Oh.
We can talk about it.
what's that? What's that?
Good DMs do it all the time.
I've heard
What's that?
it might help.
Do stuff before the game? What?
Yeah, it's
during?
like
What are you
homework.
talking about? What are you talking about? That sounds exhausting.
That'll
is
be the
wizardry.
next favorite clip we're going to see.
Yeah. Oh man.
That's a good one.
Yeah. No, I get it. I just like if you're gonna look in a book and then to find a monster and then like you're gonna try to find the conversion for it. Like what direction are you gonna go in? Are you gonna go into the Shadow Dark book and then you're gonna find like, oh, I need a 5th level monster or whatever. So then you find the monster and then you gotta go in the Pathfinder book to find a picture of it.
I mean,
And
I just
or-
treat it like a
or you're gonna
reference
find
book,
it.
right?
Yeah,
like-
yeah, right.
I mean, you can't like realistically, like if he put there's 1,800 monsters in that. It's 520
No, I get it.
pages. It would be
Yeah, right.
3 times at least
Right,
if he
it'd
had
be-
art
it'd
for
be
all of it.
1,800 pages, right? It'd be 1,800
Yeah, it'd be
pages, yeah.
it'd be unmanageable.
That'd be
Which
cool.
would be
That'd be
you,
cool.
you don't want to manage 2 books.
Amazing.
Try managing an 1,800 page book at your table and
Yeah,
see how well
right.
that works out. It's
Right.
not going to. So
Yeah.
I have no problem like looking like if I'm
Yeah.
looking through, I'm like, oh, I need something different, and say I'm looking like based on hit dice. I'm like, oh, well, that's 10 hit. What the hell is this thing? Google. Oh,
Yeah,
all right,
right.
yeah, that'll work. Or nope, that's not going to work. I mean, I haven't bought like a lot of Shadow Dark stuff other than some adventures and whatever Kelsey puts out. I've backed both her
Yeah,
Kickstarters
sure.
because again, I don't know how much more playtime it's going to get at the table if the guys are going to want to revisit it or whatnot. So there's a lot of great stuff out there, especially for Shadow Dark.
Sure.
But like, if we're not going to use it, I don't feel like investing in it.
I'm
Yeah,
struggling. I'm struggling trying new games with my group. It just gets frustrating to argue with players about rules every time we put something new on the table.
I don't have that issue because like my Thursday night group, that's what we do. Like we round robin it, and like I'm running Shadow Dark, and the next game up will be 2nd edition Ravenloft. We did DCC Lankmar. We'll go
Yep.
back to that. We did Dragon Slayer playing in Highfell. We'll go back to that. I've run Dragon Bane for that group. So we played different games. The only negative to that is that I've found is that we don't. I like long campaigns, and right now, I don't play in any. I run one. I run the only one for that. Our whole group, the Thursday night group, is like some of our regular my CNC group that are local to me, and so I don't get a chance to really play in a long term campaign other than like the monthly game, but that's hard to because we
Yeah.
only get to play once a month because of schedules and stuff. Everybody's busy, so. I miss out on that, but
So you're
Other
in
than
3
that-
games.
Yeah, I have a Thursday night group, and I have a Friday night group, but we've been really inconsistent. We play different games there too. I play a lot of Dragonbane with that group, but we play. It's a group I play Daggerheart with. It's a group I play Heart with. It's a group I play Mothership with. I've played some other shit that I just flew out of my head. Played
See it?
Candela Obscura. I played a bunch of different games with that group. And then I played Dragonbane with a monthly group, and that's about it.
See, I don't have that. We have a single group and we play every Sunday. And they have their preferences. Some of the guys are just stuck. They just, they're stuck
yeah.
with the same games they played 20, 30 years and don't want to
Yeah.
change.
I have so in my CNC group, I have one of my players, like he doesn't like to jump around. Like pulling him from 5e to CNC was not work. I mean, he's good. Like he's a good dude. I've been playing with him since we were in our 20s when I met him. He was skeptical. He was very skeptical of CNC because I mean, as a player, it's hard not to like 5e because it's so player facing and empowering, where it does jack all
Right.
shit for DMs. It was hard. Like he would look at a CNC character sheet and he thought all the characters are going to just be cookie cutter because they don't have this laundry list of crap that we can do, which we've been used to since we started playing with like 3rd edition and every edition since.
Mhm.
So he was very skeptical, and he doesn't like the jump systems. But I've already kind of like let everybody know that like when this campaign's done, which it's going to probably be several years from now, honestly, I'm not probably going to run another CNC game. I'm more than likely going to switch to a different system. You know, whatever's firing me up at the time. You know,
I definitely like running a bunch of different systems, but like
I
I
think it's
also
good.
want consistency in like
yeah,
my weekly game that I run every week. Like I want to run a long game and do it in one system. You know, and I thought CNC was going to be that system, and it turned out that it's not. But maybe Shadow Dark is, maybe it isn't. I don't know, but
I'm
With
just saying,
CNC,
like,
do you think
no, go
if
ahead,
we had
Jason.
not used Reforged, do you think if we had stuck with classic CNC, whatever you want to call it, do you think we would still be using it?
I don't know. I don't think so. Because I think we would have ran into the same issues. Like I mean, yeah,
I'm
we
running.
we had issues with stuff, for Joe made it. Look at that.
Hey, Joe.
I like we had issues with them changing the spell names and like some of that stuff that go into the Reforged stuff. And then that was like, but none of those issues were big enough that made us say, geez, let's not play this. You know what I mean? I mean, it was just the layout, and like the biggest thing from the players was, you get everything at first level. Like that was the, and then nothing later. Like that was like the thing there. So I
That's
think
not really
that's
true, though.
Complaints.
Yeah.
Well,
I
that was
agree.
the
yeah.
right.
It's
Right,
it's
but I mean,
true to a degree, but I really don't feel like it's true.
No,
but
that's
that's
not a
fine.
complaint on
Yeah.
my group as.
So, but I mean, so that was like part of it. So I think like the issues there that like would have happened either way. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I don't run Reforged. Like I mean, I have the Reforged Monster Treasure, which I actually think in some ways is an improvement over the original one. One, it has art for
Yeah,
all the monsters. They took out
and
that
they pulled out
giant
that middle
chunk of
section. Yeah,
fey
Fairies.
creatures,
fairies and stuff.
which I like that stuff, but like I don't need that much stuff. Like it has
Put in a separate
pixies and a few other things in
Yep.
there. That's
Yeah,
great.
but that was easily solved by going and getting these, the old
Yeah.
classic, and then
Yeah.
this one. And I
Yeah, I
use
have that one.
I use these at my tables instead of that big ass monstrosity with all the junk in it that they had.
I honestly, for CNC, I honestly probably more often use the Adventures Dark and Deep bestiary than I do the CNC Monsters and Treasure.
Hot garbage.
Oh boy, yeah.
Yeah, it is.
What book
So-
was that?
The Adventure
Adventures
Backpack.
backpack. So yeah, I mean, I
yeah.
think I think that the switch would have happened anyway. I mean, I don't know.
It's huge.
We'll see. Yeah, I know that's the problem with Joe Block's book is it's
Yeah.
it's the size of the DCC book.
It's great though because it
what-
has everything in it.
What does that system offer that that isn't 1E?
I mean, I haven't played it. I have the system, but it's like there's some things that I like. Like it, like I said, I haven't played it, but like reading it, it probably has the best version of the Bard I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Which system is that?
I think he did a really good job with the classes.
Adventures Dark and Deep. Joe Block.
I also think though, like it kind of stuck with some of like stuff that maybe over time, like I just like a lighter thing. Like I like very light mechanics because I don't want the mechanics to get in the way of the play. So I don't need like weapon speed or stuff like that. I never
How
used
dare
it. I get it that it makes sense, but I don't need to juggle more numbers at the table. And this does things differently. Like he does change things. Like it's not just a copy of like AD&D. I mean, I'd like to get it to the table just to test run it, because that's really the only honest way to evaluate it, I think. But I will say this was the first book that I bought of the system because I love monster manuals, and I bought this book, and it's freaking awesome. Like I use it all the time. And it's easy. Seems easy to convert. So I don't really even convert anything.
The only 2 books I bought from him were the Lost Tables and the Lost Beasts.
Both good stuff.
Right,
Lost Tables.
I have Lost Beasts.
Yeah,
I bought that. That was the first book I technically ever bought from him because I bought it from him at the first ShireCon I went to. These weren't out yet, but
Yeah.
I really like I like this book.
Joe managed to print a house ruled edition of AD&D, and it's twice as big as AD&D.
Well, I mean, in fairness, it's like, his process behind it was like, what would have been Gary's next evolution of it. And he did a ton of research on like articles, like that's why there's a jester class in it and stuff like that, because that's all stuff Gary wrote about, in Dragon or, online or whatever. So it was quite the daunting task.
No, I get it. Looks awesome. I'm glad I own it. Maybe someday I'll run it. I'm just really pushing away from the bigger systems,
I hate saying
maybe I shouldn't, I mean, maybe for a longer campaign, Adventures Dark and Deep is something that I should look into, but, I don't know,
I mean, my guys have to listen to me ramble on about because I like looking at different systems because I'm always looking for like what I think would be, a great game. And like lately, my Thursday night groups, all they've been getting inundated with is me talking about Tales of Argosa because I really like everything that I've seen it. I mean, there's one exception that I could do without, but other than that, like I just like how everything seems to look like it would work. Again, won't know until I actually get it to the table for a bit, which I'm hoping to be able to do after I finish Shadow Dark. I'm hoping they'll let me run a little bit of it to see what we think of it.
Well, I'm excited for Adventures Dark and Deep Light because I think that I can, more easily get to the table.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll pick that up or not, but because I have the other, I have the core book and everything, but
sure.
Yeah, that was a smart move on his part too, because these 2 books, they are daunting, like
massive. Yeah,
fucking like these things. This is a great monster manual though, because it's just awesome.
Yeah, no,
like I said, I use it. I use it more
huge.
than Monsters and Treasures. So
it's huge.
Aren't you excited for your landscape version of Osric 3?
Stop! I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about that.
I don't know how you backed it and didn't know.
I don't want to. I don't want to talk to you about this.
Okay.
I'm already embarrassed.
What's this?
Yeah, what is this?
When Osric 3 came out on Kickstarter.
3. Okay, I backed it because I liked Osric. I was back and forth on whether I should back the thing or not. And then at the last minute, or no, I think it was, well, whatever. I ended up backing it for a copy of the core book.
Yeah.
Well, Mike, a couple weeks ago or whatever, informs me like he's breaking my chops about that. And I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, oh, it's landscape. And I'm like, shut up. It is not. Then he's like, go check your pledge. So I did.
Oh.
It's landscape. Why?
So they got so much flack about that they eventually added a standard, portrait formatted book. But it was like an extra pledge at the bottom. So if you did the standard pledge, you got the landscape version. I don't know why they did that. That's why I didn't back it. I was like, I'm not backing this shit because I'll probably never play it, but it's not even going to fit on my bookshelf properly.
It's going to look cool on a coffee table.
It's a coffee table book.
No, it's
Yeah.
not. Somebody's going to look at it and be like, "What is this crap?"
Stop. It's fine. It'll be
It'll
fine.
it'll be fine, Roger. It'll be fine.
It'll be fine.
Yes, I
It'll
know.
be fine. There's nothing wrong with it. We'll be able to use it at the table. It'll look great. You know.
Listen, I'm still not sold on these A5 formatted books.
I
I
love
can't
them.
even pull it up. Can't even pull it up because Backer Kid is currently experiencing an outage.
It's all the people that are rushing to their pledge. I got that fucking
No.
book.
Yes, because we mentioned it.
I didn't know that.
Uh-huh.
Son of a bitch.
Big driver of backer.
I personally love. I wish more books were this big.
Really?
Yeah.
I wish.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're so much easier at the table.
Well,
So much
I
easier to transport.
listen.
I
I
love
understand why she did it because if she made it a standard formatted book, it'd be like 40 pages long. It's giant
Maybe.
font,
Yeah,
and it's
right.
a
Yeah.
small book with giant font. You know,
Yeah.
it would be
No, that's
tiny
cool,
if it
yeah.
was a standard formatted book.
It would.
I like
So-
it, man. I can like Ducato said. For me, it's easier at the table. Takes up no room,
Yeah.
and
Yep.
I can read it without
Awesome.
my glasses. I like that.
same.
big ass font. I can open it up, and I know I can. Yeah, I have no problem
Find
with it at
stuff
all.
in
It's
it.
like the
I
OSC
don't know.
books are the
But
same.
the-
Like I got to use those last summer. It's so much easier to manage at the table.
Yeah.
And people
Yeah,
that do
my-
the A5 books tend not to waste any space either. Like Shadow Dark, OSC is the same way. Like you open it up, everything you need's on the inside cover. Yeah, I wish more people would do it. I wish more companies would do it.
Yeah, I'm not even going to play Pathfinder Second Edition, I think, but I'm addicted to getting their little scrunch down, the compact versions that are
Mhm.
basically A5, just because I like.
I
the
bought-
form factor.
Really?
I bought
Yeah.
for my I started collecting Pathfinder 1E, and I mean I have a few regular sized books, but the bulk of it are the little soft cover books that they did.
Yeah. I mean, I got
Now
that
the shitty thing about those is the font is tiny, and it for my old ass eyes it becomes kind of a pain in the
Yeah,
ass to
they
read
really
sometimes.
just shrunk the whole thing down.
They just shrunk the book. Like they didn't do anything to make it easier to navigate. But I bought those. They were like most of them are like dirt cheap on Amazon.
Yeah.
So I just bought those, and I mean I have some of the other ones too, but the bulk of the collection, like all the best series, are that size. And the core books that size.
Ken, can you actually read that book?
Yeah, but it is pretty difficult. It's pretty difficult.
Yeah.
See, I don't need glasses to read. I only need them for distance. So they stay in my truck when I drive. That's it. So I don't have a problem with the font.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's 1-to-1. They just shrunk it down, so it's
Mhm.
the reason the font is so small is because it's exactly the same page count.
Scaled. Yeah.
Yeah,
They literally just scaled the whole thing down.
yeah, I like it a
Um,
lot. My
they're-
whole experience at the table, I've been trying to shrink stuff down to only the essentials that I need to run the game. 'Cause
Yeah.
for a while, it was like, I think that Critical Role effect or the Dungeon Magazine or whatever, where you see the GM that has like the giant thing and it's got all this stuff.
Right.
The more I do that, the more annoyed I am at it. So all the smaller books are that, they're taking up way less space, and that gives us more face time and more table area. And
I mean, like
Yeah.
compare the two here.
Yeah. Right.
Well,
Well,
and
and I
then this is just one of them. I'd have to have two of these.
Yeah,
beasts.
but that's a bad example.
yeah,
That's a
Those
big
No, it
books-
isn't.
Those
I
those
remember-
books are monsters. I don't have any books that are that size.
But I remember like back in the day, like even playing 3.5, where everybody had 6 books at the table.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's a
I mean,
that's a
Yeah,
problem
you
with
do.
the system. I mean,
Look at like if you had all the I think they made pocket editions of the Kobo Press monster books.
they did,
how
but
did
they're
that-
Yeah.
not that big.
Those things, they're pretty fucking close. Like they're beasts, all of them.
I will say though, and that
I think it
he's got the receipts.
He's looking.
Yep.
They're Toma
Oh.
Beast. You're right. They're Toma
No,
Beast.
I don't. They're upstairs in my son's room because he claimed all the Kobold Press stuff.
Yeah. That's right. Mike's gonna get them now. Here we go.
They're
Book
pretty
comparison.
decent size.
Size comparison over here.
So you're correct. The three of them together are about the same as the book you got there.
Yeah, this is how many pages? This is the core rule book, so this has everything in it. But this also, the core rule book also is, I can't remember what he said, but there's a couple other books because I've heard him talk about it in interviews. He's like, if you have this book, you don't need to buy like that book
Right,
and that
right.
book because
Yeah,
they're
if you have the core rule book and the core bestiary, you have everything you need to play the game. That's those two books are what you need. And we're talking about the size of the core rule book. We also have to keep in mind that is the player's handbook, the Dungeon Master's Guide, and the treasure book, all in one book. That we could break it down into 3 books; they'd be much smaller, but now it's in one.
So you're right.
Yeah.
I'll say something. This is 420 pages for the Creature Codex. You're right.
This
But-
is monster.
This also has the covers on them are very nice quality. The paper stock is very thick, high quality stuff, and you have full color art for every single monster in this book.
That's
That's
pretty
nice.
best.
So it's nice. I can't imagine a pocket version of these.
Mhm.
They just
I
gotta
wouldn't.
be,
No, I think those books are great. Like I love those books.
yeah.
I
don't
use them a ton.
Yeah, I don't really mind. I mean, the idea of getting rid of all the books, yeah, sure. My player when I run 2E, I don't have my player's handbook or my DM's guide sitting on the table. I put a little stand to the side of me with a couple books I might need, the Monster Manual, DM Guide, Players, but I don't generally have to reference them because I know the rules.
Mm-hmm.
And when I said with the monsters, I will print the ones I want. So I'll have a stack of 5 or 6 sheets of paper with those monsters in my binder with my prep stuff. And that's all I have on the table is my binder.
Yeah.
So I don't need, sure. I've got bookshelves full of books for 2E that I use for reference, but they're not on the table when I play, So
Yeah, I do the same thing with Monster Meals. I mean, you get like I have the PDF to his bestiary and most of the bestiaries I have. So I do that a lot of times. I'll print off the sheet just so I have it at the table and I don't have to mess with the book.
Yeah, I'm definitely trying to pare down like what I have at the table. I mean, I think I'm getting close to the point where like I can't get rid of anything else because if I try to, it'll end up back on the table. I think I'm in a good spot. I mean, compared to like where I was years ago, where I had like a whole castle and everything and, all of that stuff. I don't think it's that bad, but
Yeah, I generally don't even use a DM screen anymore. I mean, there was a point when I printed out the Fat Dragon Games castle. It covered the whole front of the table.
Yeah.
It was great. I had all my stuff behind it. Yeah, I don't use any of that anymore. The nice part about it was when I was using 5e, that castle has notches on the top and you can make these little brackets. So I'd print out on paper every character's name.
yeah.
And then I'd cut them out and I'd laminate them because I have a laminator. So I'd laminate them and I'd glue them into the thing. So I had them up there. And then I'd make generic Monster 1, Monster 2, Monster 3,
Yeah.
NPC 1, NPC. And
Yeah.
then I'd use them for the initiative tracker. They were great.
I would do that too.
They went across the top of the castle and I just, as their turn went, I would pull it out. So there was no mistake in whose turn's next because they're the next one in line. That was great. But after a while, I'm like, I got this giant castle taking up half of my table.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Just
used
for
to do
that.
that too. I have this big one from some company that's not in production anymore. And I'm at the table I'm sitting at right now is where we're used to the game. Now we do game here with smaller groups, my Thursday night group, but my CNC group's downstairs on the big table. And I have Game Master screen up there, but it's a wooden one that my son got off Etsy, and I'll have like the CNC one behind it when we play CNC, or I've thrown Dragonbane one up there if I'm running Dragonbane or whatever.
I bought this thing last year thinking I was going to use it. It's beautiful, right?
Yeah.
So it folds open, but then it folds open again, and then it has all these pages here. There's literally 12 pages,
Holy shit.
12 different pages worth
Oh,
of stuff
yeah,
you can
wow.
have on it. but it only folds open the size of 4 pages.
Okay.
I still don't use it because it's too tall. I don't like a big screen in front of my face anymore.
Yeah, right.
So we've been talking about building a table. I was just looking today. You can buy. It was a freaking Sony 65-inch 4K TV now, with Chromecast and some other stuff built into it at Best Buy for $232. And I'm like, I'm just going to buy one of those. I'm going to build my table. I'm going to put it in there. It's not going to replace my terrain and stuff, but it may very well replace most of my battle mats, matter terrain on it. But if I do that, I will probably put aside, it won't be a cubby, it'll be a cutout. So it'll be shorter, so I can actually put the tabletop. It'll be recessed. So then I can have my screen there with reference stuff on it, but it's not sitting in the way of all my view. I'm still sitting there looking at everybody. So I like having a screen for reference. I just hate it in front of me. Standard 2E screen, and I lay it on the table underneath my stuff. So if I want to look,
Wasn't a great plan.
no.
So,
It's a good size, though.
So it's a great size. Love it. Yeah, and it's perfect. But I wish the information was useful.
I saw that.
That's,
I
I think the new one.
OSC just released a you can get portrait or landscape format, so you can print them out and put them in your own screen. if you
Oh,
want.
okay.
So,
yeah.
They have a physical version coming because my son pre-ordered it.
portrait
Landscape.
version
Yeah.
I'm not sure, to be honest with you, which one it is.
screens that are in this format. This is nice because it's real short. You can set it there. I could throw my binder behind it.
What is it? We couldn't see it. Hold it up. Oh yeah.
I have that one.
Definitely landscape GM screens are the way to go. Maybe
Yes.
maybe that's what I'll use my Osric book for. So
I'm confused.
what do we got any we're almost at 3.5 hours. We got any
We've done a hell of a job staying on topic tonight.
final comments on dungeon delving or
I thought that's what Ken was here for.
yeah.
Keep us away from the tangents.
Yeah, he's
yeah,
good at that.
Sorry.
What
I'm way into the tangents now. I think they're cool.
We were relying on you, Ken.
yeah, there you go. What do we got? Anything else on dungeons that we wanna talk? Yeah.
I think we've covered most of it.
I am looking forward to this. Is something that Roger and I have talked about a lot, and some of the other group. I am really looking forward to leaving the dungeons of Shadowdark and going into Overland and seeing the world. I really, because I've only ever done one shots until we started playing, and so I'm really looking forward to seeing how well it translates over to
Yeah.
Overland and outside the dungeon
Yeah.
adventure.
Have you? I know you guys maybe haven't done this. Like I don't watch a lot of like live stream games anymore, but one that I do watch is the Glass Cannon guys, and they're using Shadowdark, and they're using the Gloaming from
Yeah.
Curse Scroll 1,
Yeah.
and they've done a ton of overland travel in that, a lot. It's been like 11 sessions, and the
Okay.
majority of it's been overland travel.
Do you think that it's interesting because of the rules of Shadowdark or because of the personalities on the podcast?
I'd probably say both.
Yeah.
I was actually really I've watched them before. Like I watched their whole or listened to their whole Giant Slayer when they did their original flagship Giant Slayer with Pathfinder First Edition. I bounced off of their second campaign with Pathfinder 2E because I didn't like the adventure and I don't like second edition Pathfinder. So, but when they made the announcement that they were going to go to Shadowdark, one, I was super impressed because that's a big departure from Pathfinder, which is they have a really good relationship with Paizo. I mean, they still do, but they decided to like try something different. And I think it's a better game actually for that group. So I'm interested in both. Like for me, as far as live streams go, like that one, it's not so overproduced like Critical Role, where it doesn't feel like friends sitting around a table playing a game.
Yeah.
Where Critical
Right.
Role is just a performance of
It's a theater.
nonsense.
Yeah, that's
Um,
definitely a
It's-
like a scripted thing.
Yeah, it's way overproduced, and
Yeah.
I have no, and I don't care for fifth edition, so like I don't want to watch it. But
Do you know?
they do a lot of overland travel. So I mean, it comes into play like the nighttime travel, foraging is a big thing. Like your resources, you can only carry so many rations and stuff. So and that's issues that they've dealt with time and time again in the stream. They just finally got back to town. Like they're at least 11 sessions in, maybe more, and they haven't caroused yet.
Wow.
So they've been really stretching it. Like in the
Well,
comments, people are like, "Go back to town, go back to town." But they just kept pushing forward, like opening up these new, very much. And I'm also impressed with them because they're really trying to, I think, embrace like old school style play. Like they started, I think, using much more of the pulp rules, and they still are, but they've toned it back a little bit with like the tokens and certain things, and they have their own little house rules and stuff, but they're really like trying to, I think, embrace more of an old school type.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to watch
play.
it because I heard good things about it. It was recommended to me by a few people.
I've enjoyed it.
Um,
It's the only one. It's really the only one I watch on a consistent basis. Like I'll watch it.
what I'd really like to see, and it's not going to happen anytime soon because we're still waiting for Curse Scrolls 4, 5, and 6 to come out in print. We're still waiting for 5 to even come out in PDF. And then she's taking a break. So we're not going to see another Curse Scroll for a while.
Yeah.
What I'd really love to see is some more of what OSE did. Like put in some alternate rules. Like OSE has alternate rules for thieves. I would love to see Shadow Dark give just a little bit more to the thief.
Those alternate rules are great too.
Yeah.
I like those.
And I could see adopting them to Shadow Dark.
Easily.
But even I've got a player playing the thief, and he's like, I don't really know what I can do besides backstab, because it doesn't really lay out what they can do. It's all kind of very vague. If you want to do this, it's automatic, or if you want to do this, it's up to the DM to just give you a DC. And some players don't like that. They want to see, this is what my class can do, even if it's not like a bunch of crunchy stuff on their character sheet. Just a
few things,
right, like OSE does. Like, hey, if you want to do this, you got a 2 in 6 chance to do it. That's all. They just want to know that. So maybe I'll incorporate some stuff like that. I think if I can add just a little bit of mechanical crunch to the areas that I think are just too sparse, I think you could make it into a long-term game. But you definitely have to strive to add the outdoor, the wilderness travel. I don't know if I want to go straight to a hex crawl. Are they doing an actual hex crawl where they're rolling every hex and doing that? Or are they just doing like an overland campaign where it's less structured, more role play?
No, they're crawling every hex.
Oh, are they?
They'll open it up on the map. Yeah, they have I think they're using Foundry, and you'll see the map on the screen, and they'll hit. They're like, oh, okay, we're going north or whatever.
So they're not rolling the hexes. They're not rolling the hexes though. The hexes are pre-rolled and planned by whoever's the DM, right?
They're they're using the Gloaming book, which is
they're using an existing map.
Yeah.
Right, but even on the Gloaming map, when you do the hex crawl rules, you're still rolling for the hexes because there might be points of interest. I'm just wondering, is that already pre-planned? The DM's already decided what points of interest are in there, so when they open it,
I'm sure. He probably has. So he's not like fumbling around with it at the table because their sessions aren't very long.
Right. Because your typical hex crawl rules, you roll it as you go, which can be fun, but to me that's not conducive for a long-term campaign.
No.
I think
that's why I've got a map and everything set up for mine.
Right. So you can look at the map for the Gloaming. Like there's points of interest in the hexes, and then they give you a little bit in the write-up of what it is, but like it's so open for like you do what you want with it.
Yeah. I'm not a big fan of the maps she put forward. I'm very particular with the old like Thorfinn Tate's Mystara maps. I like I think there's better hex maps out there. I just don't like the style of them. They just look muddied and kind of, I don't know.
I
mean,
like
it's-
the gloaming one. I was actually going to use that for my Thursday night group, and the only reason I didn't is because at least one, if not two, of the players are watching the stream. So I'm like, well, I don't want to. If I'm going to change all these things so they don't know what it is, I might as well just run whatever I want. You know?
Right.
So I went with the totally something totally different.
So, yeah, I think we're way off, way off
Yeah.
target here. We're
course.
we're at 3.5 hours. So,
Oh, hex crawling is kind of dungeon crawling. It's just
hex crawling.
it's
hex
overland
crawling,
at a
overland
larger
stuff,
scale.
Yeah.
That's a couple weeks. We'll do that in a
Okay.
couple weeks. We'll do,
All right.
we'll do
Shopping
overland
travel,
travel.
basically dungeon crawling.
Basically dungeon
That's right.
crawling. That'll be a short episode. We'll just be like, yeah, see our dungeon crawling episode. It's the same thing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right.
No, we'll talk about that.
Except outside.
Yeah, so that was except outside. So that was dungeon crawling. As much of that was actually dungeon crawling. But yeah, no, good stuff. Thanks everybody for coming. We'll see you guys next week. I don't know what we're gonna do yet for next week, but we'll talk about it on the appropriate channels and go from there. But thanks everybody for watching. Yeah, just has Joe
Yeah,
Moore.
Jeff Angel. Yeah,
Yeah.
big fan. He's a good
So
dude.
yeah, no, he's great. I got to get him on at some point. I think he's coming to see him.
Oh yeah,
but
I think he said he was going to. Yeah,
yeah.
he's a good
So
guy.
we'll see you guys next week. We'll see you guys on the other side. Thanks for sticking with us. Remember, like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. And we will see you guys next week. Take care, everybody.
Bye.
Mm.